Welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some HoroScoops today, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to ramble on about a few things pretty quickly before I hand over. Please go check out our Discord. You can find a channel purely for HoroScoops as well if you want to go scream into the void with us about what the hell is happening. Also YouTube. If you've missed an episode or want to catch up or rewatch like I do, you can head over to the YouTube and check out the HoroScoops playlist. Please check out our Twitter and also retweet the tweet so that it helps us immensely, so thank you. Also a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Mage Hand Press, where you can see that be run tomorrow by me in Argo 37, and also the Deck of Many that have the most amazing magic cards, which I'm really obsessed with. Otherwise, I'll let Hans talk about the macking and everything like that, so I'll hand over to the very lovely Hans. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Alice. Some of the things I noticed, well, today, one thing I want to make sure we get out at some point here is that we have a retweet thing I'm doing for Mac. If you know Mackenzie from this channel, runs Apotheosis, she has a new supplement out on the DM's Guild. It's super fun. It's all candy. It's the kind of thing that we should all enjoy in our D&D sessions. Scratch just put the link in. So if you click on that, if I get 50 retweets on it, I am going to purchase that for someone. So could be you, could be Mac, could be Sarah, could be somebody totally different. So we'll find out the hard way. But please retweet it because Mac deserves it. It's good stuff. I should go around and actually talk about people who are here. So let's start with Sarah.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be back on this wonderful Wednesday. My name is Sarah L. Kinney. You can follow me here on Twitter at this name and pretty much anywhere else on the internet. Twitter's going to have my links to stuff. On HoroScoops, I play Cameron Sheehan, a woman in her mid-20s who's an aspiring writer who always wears flannels, got long, straight red hair, and is always wearing a metal band t-shirt and a pair of combat boots. And she recently found out she's a witch and has access to magic. So get ready for that.
Good stuff. And we have missing today, Allison. Allison plays Josie Conrad, who is #Team Mom, and she is also the ghost-seeing former military hacker who rides a motorcycle. She's pretty great. She, Allison, she, Josie, they are both great. Yeah, so they're missed today. They are also in the mist somewhere. Man, puns. Okay, so she won't be here. Let's talk about Alice.
Oh, hi, I'm Alice. I'm also White Rabbit Pick on Twitter, and I play Darcia, or Darcy Moretti, in this. And she has a skill in breaking things, which is one of my proudest things I've ever had in a character. She's very soft, can be quite nervous, can have a proper switch of tempers here and there. But otherwise, she tends to wear her big round glasses, oversized jumpers, heavy boots, and she kind of adores this little group. So, yeah.
I think we all do. It's very good. By the way, Alice, how's that Patreon that you have now? That's a new thing going.
Yes, it's the first things start. I've got a shoot that's going up there this weekend. I've got the first images going out on Monday. So I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very excited.
Do you think that new shoot that you're going to do might be HoroScoops related in some way?
It's going to end up HoroScoops related. I've spoken to the person I'm doing a witchy shoot with, and it's going to be in a place where there's a lot of witch history as well in the UK. So we figured we'd go and do it there. I'm excited. Obsessed, but excited.
I'm not excited at all just because I keep mentioning it. It's just one of those things you do, you know? We are also missing Sammy tonight. So Sammy plays Lewis, and Lewis is our intrepid adventurer, best friend to everybody. Everyone is in the best friend tier with Lewis. Really just the best, and so soft and nice, and deserves to be protected at all times, but also not here and lost. So we will have to find out what happens later. And that brings it all the way around to Mal. Hey, Mal.
Excuse me while I unmute myself. Yeah, I'm Mal. I play Sullivan O'Callahan, the #Urban Druid. He's tall and has red hair and a ferret, and he's also covered in tattoos. I don't know what else to say. You can find me on a lot of different shows, including Doors of Daenerys, which was super fun. If you missed it, go watch the VOD. And I have a pinned tweet out now that you can check out all my whatever schedule. Yeah, that's the word I want. There we go. Also, with Mac's thing that we pimped out earlier, both Kelly and Sammy worked on it.
Yes, that is a good point that I should have brought up earlier. Thank you. And also, is it fair to say at this point, Mal, that you are doing a lot of shows? Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, like 4 shows, 4.5. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think that counts as a lot?
I think that counts as that's probably my limit.
Okay, I won't ask you about any more shows then.
I mean, you can always talk to me, but
you see how quickly you flipped on that? That's not good.
I said probably my limit. I didn't say definitely. There's a qualifier word there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what they all say when they are addicted to doing shows, but that's okay. I'm not going to point that finger too much. Let's talk about last week on HoroScoops. We briefly debated having Cameron in character do this recap, but it would mostly be about the van. So I think we should just skip that part. So we started out episode 7 with the magic van floating around the parking lot in circles. I should say, yeah, that was what I meant. And then we also had the very angry Bigfoot hunter, Hank Young, standing in the back of his truck, yelling about his ruined rifle and the fact that his truck had been messed up, which was done by Darcy. He went over to the Bigfoot Discovery Museum, where he was going to physically assault the owner, but the group very slowly drove the magic van over to his parking lot, and Darcy grabbed him by the fist and made him surrender. And then he just walked off down the street because he had no spark plugs in his truck, which was done by Pockets. Pockets gets credit for that one. After we finished up that part, the whole group started driving into the forest. And well, actually, we didn't start driving in the forest yet, did we? We had to deal with the fact that Lewis woke up. I can read this actual recap. This is what I should be doing. So Lewis woke up, and then when Lewis woke up, was missing his candle, and that was a really serious thing for him. So they had to go find it, and that meant going to the dream space where somebody who may have been Sullivan lost the candle by splashing a witch with a giant magic wave. And yeah, we got that candle back. It was fine. Everything's good. And then the crew went out into the wilderness. We had a very touching Darcy Lewis scene explaining the whole candle thing. I really liked that part. And then we ended up with everybody going in the forest. I'm finally going to get to that point, and started looking for the Bigfoots. We found out through Sullivan's excellent magic that Hank Young was closer than they were to the Bigfoots. And we also found out that, we didn't find out, the witch cast another magic spell, and they all got lost in a big, foggy, misty cloud, which is where we're going to start today, in a big, foggy, misty cloud. We don't have Lewis. We don't have Josie. Everybody's still going to be fine, I'm sure. But I do want to give you all a horoscope for Scorpios. The influence of Venus is heightening your personal charisma and influence. The relationships you've made at work, I'm sorry, this reads very much like the one I did last week. I think I have not refreshed this, because I swear that is my last one. Okay, so now I'm super embarrassed, but I also need a second to backpedal, because that's not right.
Happens to the best of us.
You're good.
Yes. One of these days I will correct this, but I know I changed that at some point.
What you're really doing is just building suspense.
I wish that was a thing I was doing. Here we go. What I did was I copied it into my lower part of my document and not my upper part of my document. And that's the thing that happens. But I did destroy all that excellent tension I was going to build up. Speaking of tension, intense conversations come up today, Scorpio, but deep bonding is also possible if you don't get caught up in a power struggle. Venus enters Cancer, bringing you messages of love from far away. Don't let yourself get swept away, and good things are sure to come to you. So if you happen to be a Scorpio, that might be especially relevant to you. But if not, hey, let's not forget that we are on July 3rd, and we are in the middle of the woods, hopefully, still, I think. So all around you, there is swirling fog. You see faint outlines of leaves and bits of branches. Like, this is really like redwood litter rather than it is proper branches or leaves. So you have just like little pieces of redwood branches kind of like blowing past you. There's a strong wind. And it kind of burns and stings at your eyes. And you can all kind of roughly see where one another are, but it gets very foggy very quickly. So let's say right now, Sullivan's going to be in the front because Sullivan was starting to lead, being aware of where the Bigfoots and Hank Young was. So with that, is in the front, and a little bit over here to the right, we're going to see Cameron, and a little bit to the left, we're going to see Darcy. And Darcy and Cameron, you can each see to your side so that you're forming a nice diamond, Cassie, who is our ex-demon hunter. So all those things are going on, but then Josie's nowhere to be seen. Lewis is nowhere to be seen. What do you want to do first? Sullivan.
I think he would stop and look around. Is everyone okay? Is it just fog, or did anything happen?
Where's Lewis? Where's Josie? I can't see them, and she's sort of like reaching out to see how far she can see in the mist exactly. I can't see them anywhere. And she starts yelling. She sort of calls out once for Lewis and Josie.
And as Darcy starts calling out, Cameron's like starting to look around as well and goes, yeah, Lewis, Darcy, Darcy, I see you. And then Cameron will start moving closer and like pushing in that diamond because she doesn't want to lose someone else.
From the middle, Cassie says, if you can't see somebody, we don't have time to look around. Just keep close. We've got to stay together. Does anybody know what happened?
What is this? Like, where did this come from?
Cassie, is this something I've been on here once for a learn to climb thing, and the weather was clear at that time. Is this normal?
This is not normal. At the point you're at now, you can't feel the normal ground beneath your feet. There's no crunch. There's not that soft press as your feet go into the loam. It's now very stable and silent. You can feel your feet are touching something, but there's no sound of footfalls at all. And whatever distant wilderness sound, it's all kind of droning away, like draining away in the distance. You're not even really hearing that rush of wind anymore.
Correct me if
This
I'm
is
wrong,
not okay.
but correct me if I'm wrong, but every time the witch has done something to us, we've heard the rhyme out loud, right? Or like
That is correct. You definitely heard the rhyme at the end of last session.
It's the witch. Just like with the van, she hexed us. She put a spell over whatever we're doing.
How is she getting us from? I mean, is the witch nearby? This is insane, right?
I don't have an answer. I have no idea how far her reach is. Their reach is.
Okay. Let's listen to Cassie, I guess. Stay close. Cassie, you were a demon hunter? Did you ever fight witches?
Another thing you may notice at this point about Cassie is she has pulled a knife. It's not very long. It's about that long, and she's pulled it from somewhere behind her back, and she's holding it like in the fashion where the blade is pointed down and kind of angled towards her forearm, and she's very aware. Just kind of looking around. I don't know what this is. Just y'all need to keep your eyes open, see what's going on. This has got to be some sort of weird spell.
Should we have one of those? Like, and is like pointing over at the knife. Like, should we be armed or something? And like tries to look for a stick.
Are you armed? Your friend had a gun. Where? Damn. Of course, we don't have the one with a gun.
I don't have a gun.
I think God. I hope Josie and Lewis are together. They'll take care of each other.
If Lewis is with Josie, he'll be fine. It's us right now.
No, I don't. And Cameron like touches her pockets, and she like regrets at the like not having like packed her Leatherman because she wishes it, like she was worried she was gonna drop it in the woods. She's like, yeah, no, I don't have any like knife. I got something, but I don't totally know how it works yet. But hopefully I don't have to find out.
Real quick, I'm going to break in. No, because there isn't one right now.
Okay,
but I am going to real quick appeal to the audience. Something that people may notice below my name down here, so I'm doing my version of the Sarah thing, is that we have this beautiful horror threshold, which right now is at 6. So if anything is rolled to 6 or less on a die, it's going to go worse. It's going to be a lot already. But if for any reason you would like to see this stream get more interesting, you can donate to make that number go higher. So this is an appeal to the audience. If you're thinking to yourselves, man, these guys are having a really easy time defeating this thing that they're confronting. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Plus, we get a lot of backstory from the horror threshold. So you might want to see that number go up. They could totally do a 7. We've gone higher than that before. I mean, I'm just saying, guys. Okay, so now that I've done my appeal to the rest of the audience.
I have. Can't they also donate for a horoscope specifically, which I don't think I've seen anyone do yet?
That is true. I've never had to do that. So yes, that is a thing that I am prepared to do. I actually am totally prepared. So if it comes up, previous horoscope thing was ready. So,
and then before we continue, we're in the forest before things got crazy. I would like to have spent 2 recovery actions to recover some points.
You can do it now for sure.
You're low on points?
Yeah, I'm low on intellect points.
Yeah, it's bad. We got hit by lightning.
Of course we did.
Everyone loves getting hit by lightning.
Twice.
It does bad things to your points.
Okay. So the first recovery is going to be a d6 plus 2.
Okay, so that's 8 then instead of 7.
Yeah, and I
which
believe if you
puts
click
me
the
back
thing
at my
next to
max.
recovery, you could just do the thing. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I clicked. I just don't have it as a +2.
Cool. It should have been a +2, is it not?
Nope, it's still a +1. I can fix it.
Did you change your tier?
I did change my tier, but it didn't change the recovery.
Okay. This is totally the kind of thing we need to talk about on, like the live stream and everything like that. So let me check this out. Yeah, it should have given you a +2.
Okay,
So that's lame.
It was an easy fix, but that one use put me back up to my max in the pool for intellect.
So you don't feel like doing 2 recovery actions then, just 1 was good. See, you just got to take them when you get to him.
Yes, I think I will sit at my 11 out of 16 speed for now. I don't think I'm low enough to want to burn an action for that.
Okay. Well, and only the first one is 1 action. I believe your next one takes you 10 minutes.
The next one's 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay,
do we keep going? Hank was really close to the Bigfoots.
No. Real quick, another thing to make clear to Sullivan, since you've taken now a moment to focus, you don't have your connection to the landscape at all. You are not in the forest as far as you can tell.
Oh, okay.
It's not to say you aren't there, but you have no senses that connect you to the forest anymore.
If we're still in the forest, I can't feel it.
And I'm assuming if Darcy bent down to look for sticks, did I feel anything on the floor that didn't feel like
that's
forest
great.
floor?
You had mentioned that. No, not at all. And as you reached your hand down, you could feel that like cold fog that you're far more familiar with than I am. But it was just like plunging your hand through that layer, and you never really hit a bottom.
And Darcy sort of leans down, and she leans down again a second time. She's like, okay, I don't want to alarm anyone. I wanted to find a stick because, she has a knife, so we probably should have. I can't find the ground. Like, at all.
Cassie says, I think we're more likely dealing with an illusion than we are actually missing, but I don't think you're going to find it.
How do we break the illusion from the witch? Is it like a time thing? Is it going to wear off? Do we have to walk out of it?
Okay, you were levitating a van earlier. You tell me.
Okay,
I know how to break a spell from a witch by stabbing them. So if I see a witch, I will stab them.
Yeah, okay. In my defense, I was trying to fix the van, not levitate the van. My defense.
This still seems more like your department than mine, says Cassie.
And Cameron kind of looks down at her hands, and she's thinking like, okay, magic. Okay. And she's going to try to like summon forth some of her like magical girl power armor. And she's specifically like concentrating on her hands and manifesting glittery, sparkly power gauntlets covered in spikes.
Let me see if I can kick this up a notch as we get ready for that. I wonder if I have a good enough music for that.
Anything with a guitar riff.
I know, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I'm not known for my guitar riffs. Let's try a different one. Nope, that's way too much. I can't handle that for like 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to assume this one works fine as it builds up, and let's start talking about the super awesome armor that we're building up.
So Cameron is trying not to manifest the full armor. Cassie did explicitly state, you people can't be doing your weird magic bullshit like here all the time. People will notice. So Cameron's trying to manifest a little bit of her armor. So I think what we see is as she like closes her eyes and like kind of channels her magic as best as she's been taught over the course of this last couple days. We see, I think, her like flannel shirt that she has, like the color drains out of it and it turns all black. And then we see like glittering lines, like an outline of like armor pieces. Think gaudy, awful metal band cover where you've got like death knights and goblins and shit. And she manifests a pair of like big like punching gloves. And they're covered in spikes, but they're also made of like pink and purple sparkling glitter bullshit.
You're allowed to just enjoy the things you enjoy, You don't have to justify them.
Oh man. So she's like looking down and she's like, okay, I think I'm armed. I think.
I would say that counts as armed. So do you think they feel like really substantial, physical? They're definitely there?
I think, you know what, I've been imagining them more as like more ethereal, unless she's like actually going to like maybe punch something or like trying to like maybe block something with this armor, at which point it like manifests fully and becomes extremely solid.
Okay. That sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think this is exactly what we're going for, but we're going to keep it. It's just going to be what we do. And with that, yeah,
it leaves
you
room
manifested
for you to
your
imagine.
gauntlets.
Yeah, and it leaves room for you to imagine your own guitar riff in the background. So that's good.
If everybody gets really lucky, Sarah will probably drop like a Spotify or like a Google Play link in the chat, like a YouTube link for everybody.
Don't tempt me.
You know, Sarah,
Yeah,
since you said that, I'm totally imagining when she summons her stuff that in my head I picture the fucking doof with the flame throwing guitar from Mad Max.
I accept your headcanon.
Oh, it's a good group. Okay, so Cameron is now more prepared. Let's talk about Darcy. What does Darcy want to do?
Darcy is in a real weird space because she's sort of here and there looking like, do something. So she's just going to manifest a flame at the palm of her hands, almost like to see if it burns off some of this mist around it, but she's not going to hurl it anywhere because she's very aware she could still be in a forest and she doesn't want to cause forest fires. So she sort of turns her back towards everyone like slowly and sort of like manifests a small one in the palm of her hands and is like looking around.
I would swear you're trying to keep like hummus away from Hildy right now with the hand motions. It's super
She's
good.
right there, and there's
yeah. So yeah, there's a flame. And of course, immediately Cassie like side eyes you, but doesn't say anything. And nothing is happening to this mist that's all around you. But yeah, you have flame.
She's just going to cradle it and sort of look and meet Cassie's eyes. And probably linger there for a moment, not anything, and then just go back to looking at the flame.
Yep, it seems well tended. It's not going anywhere. How about Sullivan?
Well, if this is an illusion, he has no way that he's aware of to break it. So he would just be attempting to perceive through the fog, probably, to try and find if there's any way to go in the direction they want to go.
Okay. So what are you using to determine your way? How do you want to do it?
Well, I have both perception and navigation, so I probably would start
the hard part
just
is
by...
I feel like it's neither one of these, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You need something different for this.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard because unfortunately you're neither perceiving nor navigating. Those two things, you've kind of lost your bearings for them. What you're dealing with now at this point is how do you tell what's true and what's not? If somebody else has a suggestion, they want to try it. You know, this is open to everybody. It could also be a magic thing.
As they're all like standing and milling about, Cameron's like kind of like looking at her gauntlets, looking at her fists, and is like, okay, I'm gonna don't laugh. I think I'm gonna try punching the fog away. And she's like looking at her list and she's like, okay, all right, come on, magic, I can do this. And then she like takes one step away from the group for like safety, because the last time she tried to make magic do something, it like shot sparks out from the hood of a car. So she like stops for a second, steps away from the group, and then like readies her fists. And then she is gonna just like try to strike forward and like punch at the dense fog immediately in front of her.
Okay, this sounds very good. Go ahead.
I hear a butt coming.
Yes, there is, but I don't want to stop you, so feel free.
Because so Cameron has an ability called Cutting Light. So it is a beam of light kind of strikes out from her fist and hits the immediate either object or foe. So I think she's going to try to hit the fog as a foe.
Okay. This is a very interesting choice you've made. So yes. Okay. Now, I have good news in addition to everything else, which is that we have received a donation where you get a chance to make a roll on a random roll table. You are going to receive cool stuff. So with that, we have to determine both of these things at once. So yes, you are going to shoot a beam of light willy-nilly into the fog, but additionally, I need you to roll a D100. Okay, and give me 2 seconds. Let me see if anything's super, super crazy here. Wow, that's really bad. And yep, that's also very bad. And yep, these are all bad. Okay, good. So now, why don't you go ahead and roll a D3?
Love it. Okay.
All right.
I hope a 1 is good.
I mean, it is a matter of opinion. This is the most metal-ass choice you could get, I think. So, okay. I need you to roll a D6, and it's going to be +2.
Basically playing a game of do I remember my Roll20 commands?
Yes, that is the game that we're playing. You rolled the worst possible roll.
Crushing it.
Yeah. If you want to spend an experience point, I'll let you re-roll that. I don't know if you have any to spare. Okay.
I want it.
I mean, that's fine. You got the thing you got either way. You just got the worst version of it. So let's talk about this beam of light, and then we will resolve that. So you are sending a cutting beam of light randomly into the forest with the fog as your target.
When you put it that way, it does sound bad.
No, I love it. It's perfect. It's exactly what you should do. And you're going to make a roll for it now. So this is going to be basically a how bad is it targeting roll. Your goal is to roll over a 6
Perfect.
on a D20.
So just an intellect roll?
I think it's actually a speed roll.
Ooh, okay. Love it.
Unless it says it's an intellect roll, because you are kind of shooting a beam of light. That seems like a ranged weapon.
So any of my magic would be intellect, but if you think it's a speed roll to hit a ranged target...
Let's do intellect.
Okay.
No. Intellect's good.
Okay. Is there a difficulty, or am I just trying to roll above a 6?
Honestly, just don't roll a 6 or below.
Okay, I'll put a 0.
Well,
Oh.
so first off, hey Scrat, can you make the number higher, please?
Oh, no.
Second, let's get some cool music going.
Good job, Sarah.
I mean, come on. When you hear the words, I'm going to shoot a beam of light into the wilderness, what else would you expect to have happen?
Oh no, it's great. I caught
kidding?
myself. Did you see that? I caught myself. It's great.
You better not have killed Bigfoot.
I hope you accidentally kill Hank Young, honestly.
Yeah, but don't hit Bigfoot.
Oh no.
It's supposed to be a bad effect. It's not supposed to make you guys happy. It can't be killing
Now
Hank
we're
Young.
done for murder.
When it becomes, it's not about if you fire the beam, it's about where it goes. That's never a good thing to hear.
Let's talk about a couple interesting things. Number one, I would love to hear your description of how this flash of light comes out.
So I think, so Cameron readies herself. She pulls back one of her fists. She has her other one kind of up. It's clear she might have taken a boxing class at the Y. And she leans forward, and then she kind of throws all of her weight into this one fist. And I think in her head, it's impacting with the fog itself. And as her fist impacts with this sheet of fog, or with this illusion that she's imagining, pink and purple and gold sparks shoot out of her fist from this gauntlet, and I think radiate out in sort of a PAL shape, like from a comic book, and then forward.
It's awesome. So stuff is happening. Number one, you impacted something physical, and it hurts a lot. You're going to take 2 might damage as you hit this hand up against a redwood tree. Good news, you have armor, so it is just 2 damage. So that's good. Additionally, something has fallen off and landed by your foot.
Mm.
It is a potion-looking vial, and it is roughly electric green in color. And as you pick it up, you can make an intellect roll if you would like. Yes, it is a roll to find out what it does.
Okay, what is the difficulty?
It is a difficulty 2 roll.
Okay.
You have hedge magic now, right?
I do.
So you can make this a difficulty 1 roll.
Hey.
You have magic training, that's what I'm thinking of.
So I beat it, but I did roll a 7.
It is the best possible roll. So Scrat, the number is now 8. Really, I'd like to point out that the person who made this donation here, who is Daniel, by the way. So thank you, Daniel. The person who made this donation, not only did they get the basic donation of giving something nice to Cameron, they also managed to get 2 horror increases through this. So there's a lot of ways to win in this game for me. Okay, so you have this file, which you have picked up. As you touch it, you can feel there is a magical power to this. If you were to throw this, there would be a deafening roar of thunder as it explodes. And it is a level 3 sonic detonation, not to be used inside of vans. I mean, unless you want to.
We'll see how the wind blows. I think as Cameron picks it up, she probably like feels up like a zap or a jolt from it, almost as if like the magic in the vial is telling her like, hey, this is what I do.
Yep, that happens. And your hand's a little sore. You've got this cool vial, but the fog is darkening rapidly. It's kind of condensing like when it gets to be a really bad part of a rainstorm. And as that happens, you hear a sound like something swooping in towards you. Kind of like that musical sting we just got. That was perfect. So everything is getting smaller and tighter and more condensed. And you are going to have to forgive me for reusing my previous witchy rhymes because I don't have a new one prepared for this. But the good news is I think Sullivan will be happy to hear it again. And they say, "At last I catch you all alone, as you travel far from your home. I call with hatred from the sky, a lance to strike those who defy." What are you going to do?
So this is the same poem that we heard in the ban. I think Cameron
That's
goes
true.
and immediately like she's still holding that vial, and I think she goes and puts her hands up over her in an X and is trying to do the same thing she had done before of like take this passive armor that's always around her body and like push it outwards to create a like circle around the group to help mitigate the hatred from the sky.
Yes, you can do that. Okay, so that costs you 2 intellect points like it did last time. Does anybody else have something they want to try to do to preempt this strike?
If it's getting dark, Darcy's lighting up without thinking, one in each hand, and just making the flames a bit bigger to try and keep so that people can see each other. She's got this fear that they're going to be thrown into darkness and then be split up even further.
Again, something that Alice can probably appreciate better than any of us. Can you guys all imagine that thing where you're in the fog, but you're holding a bright light, and instead of really illuminating the area around you, it just illuminates your immediate area so you can see yourself better, but it never really penetrates the darkness. That's what we're having right now with the 4 of you all kind of getting closer. It feels like you've gotten quite a bit closer suddenly. So yeah, awesome. Okay, how about Sullivan?
Well, I had an idea, but if Cameron starts to do her thing, he's gonna change tactics, and he just draws the sword so that it's free of the scabbard, and then using hedge magic makes a bunch of colored globes of light to give us a little more, to try and give us more illumination.
Okay, you have the same high beam effect. You're all just insulating yourselves with the fog and glowing yourselves up real pretty. But the important thing is that Cameron has spent the 2 intellect points. We have now blocked some of the lightning. So you have what, 1 point of armor? Is that correct? So you only all take 3 points of lightning damage.
And with the way the system works, we can distribute that damage across any of our pools.
That is an excellent question. No, you cannot. That is all might damage for you. So everybody
Okay.
enjoy that physical damage as your bodies are singed by lightning. That was a really good point I did not make clear.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, because some of us may have more might points than others, and now you have fewer of those. So yes, lightning has struck you all, and that is not fun. So, smaller illusion, the bright lights kind of illuminating the center, but nothing else. And Cassie is not happy about getting hit by lightning. After she curses creatively for just a second, she's like, okay, do you have anything you can do that's not that? Anybody?
Sully, Darcy?
What? Not like anything that isn't getting struck by lightning?
Anything that isn't all that stuff. Like, I don't know, the light beam and the, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't see anything to fight.
Stick.
Sullivan realizes that all they're doing is blinding themselves and potentially painting more of a target on them, even though that doesn't seem to actually matter, because he's been struck by lightning a lot, and it doesn't seem to matter where he is or what he's doing. But he'll drop the lights and just holds onto the sword. I have nothing I'm aware of to counter whatever is going on.
I don't do magic. I thought you all do magic.
I do some magic. Mostly I talk to the trees.
Okay.
Can you try that again? Or are you able to do it without like putting your toes up on him?
I mean, I have to be able to connect to the earth somehow to, and Darcy said there's no ground.
I don't know. Do you got like I don't know. Does anyone have like a pendant or a necklace or like a jewelry? I'm like trying to think of what they do in all my fantasy books or in the comics. Like,
have we tried talking to the witch?
What?
No?
I mean, shouting into whatever
The
this
void.
is. You know, I mean, it is crazy, but then this is crazy.
I certainly didn't think to try and talk to her, no.
I think that's worth trying. Do we do it in a rhyme, or do we just like shout into the heavens? How Darcy, how do you think we talk to the witch?
Well, I was gonna go with hello. I can't rhyme, so I was literally just gonna ask, like, you know, what the hell? Like, what do they want? What do you want? And like, she sort of suddenly stops and shouts upwards because she was like, seriously, what do you want? She just shouts into this mist.
Nothing right away.
Hey, I tried it.
Okay. All right. Maybe. Okay. Oof. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna try to punch it on a tree this time. Okay. Let's try again. I got magic, and we'll see if it does anything. And Cameron's gonna try once again. Still just really having no idea like what she can do and like what magic actually does. Kind of all of her experience with this is in books she's read, in comics she's loved. So she does the thing where she puts her hands up in an X again and imagines her armor and tries to like sort of like like she's trying to just imagine the illusion pushing out and maybe pushing it away.
Yep, you can do that.
What would I roll to try that?
This is an intellect roll. You're using your magic training. Your difficulty is 5 to break this illusion.
Okay. So before that, I think Cameron will take a deep breath and still herself. And I'd like to make a recovery roll because my intellect is hurting a little bit right now.
Yeah. So at one action, you do 1d6 plus 2.
All right. Okay. And I'm going to dump all of that back into Cameron's intellect. So,
Yeah, nice.
So difficulty 5. And I'm going to use 3 effort on this, which
You're
is
gonna
the
use
max.
3 effort.
So
okay, so you've tiered up. Got it.
So I'm tier 2, but I put one of the advancements into extra effort, so I think I can do 3.
You certainly can.
Or can I not do 3 until I hit tier 3?
No, that's the great part is when you get an advancement, you use it right away.
Perfect. So she's gonna use 3 levels of effort to try to make this. She's focusing really everything she has on trying to push away this illusion.
Okay, so 3 effort in this case. You have an edge still of 2.
Yep.
So it would normally cost you 7, and so now you're going to spend 5.
Yep. And as the last thing, I'll use the advantage I have.
This is good gamble. This is definitely a good idea.
Okay, so roll number 1. Oh boy.
Wow, really good.
Oh boy. Roll number 2.
Yay.
Yes.
Good choice with the advantage. Good choice. That's why chat, they're the real champions.
Thank you, chat. So I think the way it looks is she's like holding her hands over in an X and she's like trying to push it out. Like she's trying to be like imagining being real strong and powerful. And I think we see the entirety of her metal magical girl power armor manifest. And I think the pieces of it expand out and over and try to push the fog.
Yeah. And it gets to the point where it's like, there's like that, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that iridescent sheen of a rainbow pushing against this dark, stormy exterior. And then I want to say like the spikes on the armor push out. And it just kind of like, it breaks and you see all these little individual swirls of fog kind of like dissipate and go out into the ether, and it's gone. And you see redwood trees, you feel the leaf litter underneath your feet, the branches are there. Sullivan, you are instantly on the network, the tree network. You are connected once again. The worst part is now that all of that is gone, hey dude, my son is watching me apparently. It's not at all creepy. Yep. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So the worst part is, of course, now that you have totally dissipated the illusion, darn it, I'm really going to write down which tracks I use one of these days and then forget immediately. Now that you have dissipated all of the illusion, standing directly in front of you with her claws outstretched and her very white, pale skin is the witch. And she looks at you and bares her teeth. And she's going to do some stuff. So we should probably decide if we want to try to be faster than the witch.
I like the evolution of this game. Can you be faster than the werewolf?
I have a theme. I am not good at coming up with new themes. You take that. All right, go. See you later. Okay, so with this, the witch is level 5. So when you are trying to be faster than the witch, you do have to go up to a 5.
Whew.
I'm guessing from the hand pumping, someone's faster than a witch, and someone is not faster than the witch.
Oh no!
Okay. So. Yeah. And, you know, props to Sarah for even getting it right. She even had the higher difficulty for the fact that she is not good at initiative. So let's talk about the good stuff. We're going to dig down deep for Sarah, for Cameron, who never says die. How did this all go?
I think she, like, at first, so I think the major effect suggestion on the 20 is +4 damage. Is that like on a roll or an attack, or can I take that now? because I think what she wants is she's like put her hands up. She's pushed out this sort of she's pushed away the fog using her armor. There's the spikes going everywhere. So the way I'm imagining it is whichever pieces of armor were pushing out the fog like directly in front of wherever the witch is. It was covered in spikes, and I think they actually like manifest and become super physical and like push into her and actually do some of that damage. Which maybe makes sense why she's so toothy right now.
It's perfect. It's great. I love it. So the thing is, the witch wears this like very voluminous black shift kind of dress. And as these spikes of force go towards her, she gets perforated like a lot. And it doesn't seem to bother her very much, other than making her make a mean face. So that's kind of a thing. Darcy's fine. Let's talk about Sullivan. So Sullivan, you kick the meter back up a notch when all this is going on, and you're thinking about how you need to immediately act in this case. You find yourself distracted by the fact that somewhere in the wilderness, far in the distance, Hank Young just cocked his rifle. You heard it in those branches stirring. You hear this of the rifle as the hammer pulls back. And in that moment, the witch moves before you. But Darcy's ready. So Darcy, what did you do?
So I don't hear anything to do with the gun or anything like that. I've literally just seen Cameron go forward.
Yeah, so Cameron and Darcy get to act before the witch does whatever she is about to do. And I'm not saying I had to write a rhyme really fast, but I did.
I think holding the flames in her hand, she's literally going to grab hold of the witch. Like, in her logic, fire and witches have not gone down well in history together, so she is literally almost throwing herself at this witch and just grabbing her with these two flames in her hands.
You can absolutely do that. And in doing that, you do have to make a might roll to hold the witch.
Can I use my auto success, please?
You absolutely can use your auto success to hold the witch. So she is being held by you as your hands are burning, and she cannot break free. It's excellent. Very good. Okay, Cameron, how about yourself?
I think Cameron takes a moment to breathe, and then we see like this force of armor like snap back onto her body. All the spikes kind of retract, they unpuncture the witch and come back to her body. And Cameron will like close the distance between herself and the witch, so it's really her and Darcy and the witch like right up in her business. And I think Cameron will like once again like get into a good stance, protect her face, throw a fist back, and she kind of has it up at the witch and looks at her and says, "Why are you casting spells on us?"
And that was the extent of what you wanted to do.
I think so. I think Cameron doesn't quite want to like punch her in the face. It feels kind of wrong in this moment.
She is being set on fire by your friend who's holding her down.
Which is pretty cool.
I'm literally sat on top of this witch, like, ah!
Is there like a thing where you can like ready an action where like if the witch starts to talk and it's in rhymes and it's literally anything other than like telling us why you're doing what you're doing, Karen wants to like punch her in the face?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
I won't do that.
Okay. So the witch begins talking in rhymes.
Nope, bad. Cutting light.
Okay. So go ahead and do that. It's yeah, you're just hitting her. You don't have to roll anything for this one, right? Because she's less than level 6. Let me see how that works.
So it's an action. It costs 2 intellect, and it's a thin beam of light erupts from my hand.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and spend it. I was terrible when I played Cypher with Alice and just used my abilities without making rolls. So I will adhere to that. I think that's fair.
A time-honored tradition. So yeah, we see
Time-honored tradition of cheating.
We see the same glitter and sparks like erupt from her fist, and this time like the full force of it is like right up at the witch.
Good. I do not think the witch is enjoying this, but you may be noticing at this point that the witch does only seem to speak in rhymes.
It inflicts 5 damage.
It does. She is unhappy about the 5 damage she is taking. I am also going to say that the thing that she was about to say is broken. She is not able to complete the thing she is saying this round because she is being burned and rainbow punched. It seems like a lot. I'm going to say she is overcome for now. So let's move on to Sullivan.
Sullivan takes like half a step, like he's going to run towards where Hank and the Bigfoots are, because that's the kind of guy he totally is. And he realizes that like without Josie here, he shouldn't leave the rest of the team. And he looks at Cassie and Hank Young found a Bigfoot. He's about to fire his gun and gives her directions. You need to go.
Go where?
He tells her like where they, based on his information.
Okay, Cassie just starts running. So with this, unless you all are going to come up with something to do in this next round, Darcy, the witch you are holding her firmly, but she's kind of melting. Not like on fire melting, like she's just dripping through your fingers. And her black shift is like falling down to the ground into a puddle, and her face kind of recedes like that guy in Roger Rabbit who gets melted by the ooze, and just this whole thing is kind of like shrinking and sliding down the ground, and she's beginning to pool up into a little pool of shadow, diminishing and shrinking away. Do you have anything you're going to try to do about that?
Anything I can do about that. Did we use the potion thing? Did
we use the potion thing?
No, we didn't. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say put her in a bottle. Like I try and scoop her up.
Oh
like...
yes, the throwing potion. No, we have not used that.
Well, it's like, does anyone have a water bottle?
Yeah, literally, she was there trying to just scoop this witch up and put her in a.
Okay, and you can tell, like as you're doing this with your fingers, there's no substance there. It's just like shadow is slipping over your fingers. There's nothing to hold on to.
I don't think she can do anything then.
So the witch has receded and is gone. And Sullivan, you can feel Cassie is running as fast as you imagine she can. She is nowhere near Hank Young. You can feel Hank Young. He's taking sight at something. You have, again, that really nebulous idea of there are Bigfoots. There is a Bigfoot in particular, one. But you really, really can't keep a firm mental picture where they are. It's like getting like little intermittent pings on a map, like they move or like they're shifting somehow.
I'm sort of imagining the life detector from the Alien movie.
Yes, that's very appropriate. But everything else is solid. Just the Bigfoot keeps moving.
Okay, so the Bigfoot's the ping that's, as it moves, I'm losing it and getting it again. So I know where Hank is.
You know where Hank is. Hank hasn't moved. And you have like that mental image from the trees of Hank drawing a bead with his rifle, taking sight somewhere out in the distance.
Let's see. I think lack of ideas. Sullivan's just like, we need to go, and he like flips the sword around so the blade's down, and he starts running.
I mean, let's face it, we're asking a lot of people on the spot. You guys just defeated a witch and escaped from a spell. It's a lot to think about right now. So yeah, running seems valid to me. So Sullivan's running. What's Darcy doing?
Darcy is like grabbing Cameron, is like calling after Sully, like, we're supposed to stick together, and is starting to drag Cameron after Sullivan.
Okay, and Cameron is.
Cameron gets dragged.
Okay. How much do you feel like Darcy is physically dragging Cameron?
It probably starts off like she's being actual dragged, because I think Cameron was also trying to help with the witch scooping, but that's not working. And she's once again having that thought, maybe I can magic some of this into a bottle, and is like, okay, right, we gotta go. And is dragged along.
Okay, so follow-up questions. How firmly is Darcy grabbing and dragging Cameron? Is this a lot of physical might being used?
I think it's strong, like the grip is strong, and she's not really realizing how strong it is. Normally she thinks to be more gentle, but panicking, seeing Cassie's disappeared and Sullivan is running off. She's literally just grabbed and pulled.
Okay, and then second, how hot, and this could be when Cameron answers, how hot are Darcy's hands right now? I'm not saying damage, but like, how hot are her hands right now?
I would have extinguished the flame. I wouldn't have grabbed her with fire, but I'd probably still be.
That's a good thought. I'm just wondering, like, from the perspective of an outsider, how quickly does one's hand cool down after holding a big ball of flame? And yeah, how is Cameron enjoying that?
I'm thinking maybe it would maybe be enough to do a point of damage if Cameron didn't like have this innate magical armor on her. So maybe it like does like a sizzle at first, and Cameron gets that sensation of heat, like, holy dude, Darcy, you're awesome, but is like completely uninjured by it.
Yeah, sounds good. That's kind of where I was thinking. It's perfect. Okay, so that's all going on. You're all running in the wilderness. Sullivan, you know exactly where you're going. There's no chance you're going to get lost this time unless something happens, like a witch just suddenly sticks you in an illusion. So everything will be fine. In the distance, there is a rifle shot. Time passes. You're all running. You can hear your breath in your ears. There's that scrabble underfoot as you're like, this is all redwood leaf litter. So all the roots are very shallow. You're constantly kicking, gently tripping, and so forth as you go through all this. It's just like a hard scrabble. You can hear your breath moving. And Sullivan, you're maybe like 200 feet from this guy. He's going to hear you coming at this rate.
I don't care.
Okay.
I have an idea. I don't care if he hears me.
Okay. You're running, and he's wheeling around. He's in your sight. He's off there in the distance in the redwoods. He's pointing his rifle at you now.
Cool. I'm going to keep running.
Okay. Keep running.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a might speed test, or a might test, speed test. I said that almost right.
Okay. Since I'm currently running, can I use the skill for running?
Yeah, definitely. And the difficulty is 4 because you're trying not to get shot.
I kind of figured.
I mean, you don't have to do what I say. Go ahead and just run if you want to run. I mean,
listen, there's no thinking right now. There's just doing.
I agree. This is good. We're very Jedi right now. So yeah, again, level 4 running is a skill for this.
Okay, I'm gonna spend effort. Just one effort. Okay. Come on, roll 20. That's high enough to beat a difficulty 4.
Yes, it is.
But it makes the track go up, it looks like.
It does. So, Scrat, when and if you get a chance, we do need a 9 on the horror threshold. But the good news is you got it. A bullet goes whizzing into the forest behind you. You can feel like it passing past your ear. Yep, that happened. Good.
Cool. Didn't get shot.
Did not get shot. No one gets shot.
Good.
And in the distance, you can hear that like clunk, clunk, clunk of someone removing and rechambering a rifle. But you get a turn now. What do you want to do?
I want to get up to him, and then I want to cut his gun in half with my sword.
Okay. I think with the distance that you're talking about traveling, because we're about 200 feet, I don't know if that's going to happen this round, unless you have some sort of cool magic thing you're going to do.
I don't think any of my magic would help in that way. In that case, because I'm assuming he's by a tree and we're in the forest, he realizes how far away he is, and he's going to use grasping foliage to make the tree like grab Hank's arms and lift him up and make him unable to shoot the gun, hopefully.
Yes, definitely. So I have questions for you. These are very, very tall redwood trees. So do we want to see like 100-foot tall tree reach down and grab this guy? Or do we want to see all these leaves and roots and so forth like enclose upon him?
Oh yeah, the roots come up and enclose upon him. That's way cool.
Okay, that's badass. Love it. We should do that.
And it cost me 5 points.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
At least you have that one edge.
Yep. So that's... And... is there going to be a difficulty for this?
No, I'm going to say right now, because you seem to keep raising the horror threshold and you did just spend 5 points, I'm going to say he's going to get caught in this.
Okay.
That seems fair to me. So
you're so generous
and
kind.
Well, I mean, I do plan to do stuff to you later. For example, I have not yet mentioned what happened when you hit that horror threshold number a second ago. But don't worry about it right now. Let's just continue on with these branches and roots coming up and grabbing Hank Young. And what do you think is happening? Do you think they're grabbing his arms and like pulling the rifle down? Are they laying him down prone on the ground? What do you want to see?
I think what I want to see is the roots grab him, and the weird oh god, what is it? The magic manacles from Doctor Strange that like wrap around you and contort you around. It does that. Okay.
Now, Hank is a normal human person. So when this set of roots reach up and grab him, first off, he screams like a fainting goat. Everyone will have to imagine that for themselves. I'm not going to do that sound, but there is just a horrible, shocked cry. And when he gets grabbed and pulled down to the ground, these are not like gentle grasping hands, like someone, peacefully laying him down. The roots and the bark are grabbing his skin and twisting. You see blood kind of like running down his arms, down his neck. His shirt's getting ripped open like this, and he is just squished down into the ground, and he is not moving.
And then I think once Sullivan manages to get to him, he just levels the sword like at him, point, not touching, but right at him.
Okay. And what's Cameron gonna do? Let's go Cameron first.
I think Cameron is like sprinting ahead still with Darcy. And how much distance is between us and Sullivan?
So let's say 10, 15 feet.
Okay, so as he's coming ahead, like Cameron really wants to close that space so they're all together. And she's thinking about like being in the dream space when they were like fighting the witch the last time, and how she was able to like leap forward an insane amount of distance and just like kind of in an instant close that gap. I think Cameron wants to try to do that, but take Darcy along for the ride.
I like how you keep stretching your powers to include your friends. That's very generous of you. It's good. Okay, so let's follow through with our usual rules. It's going to be the normal far step, but you have to spend 2 if you want to bring Darcy.
Perfect. So I think Cameron like looks at Darcy real quick, and she's still kind of like stumbling behind a bit with the hot hand on her shoulder, and says, you want to catch up, right?
That's the plan, yeah.
Okay, here we go. And then Cameron's just gonna like try to like focus on like the space right next to Sullivan and like imagine both of them being there.
Okay, so do you want the Nightcrawler Bamf, or do you want like a Star Wars, like sudden warp speed?
I like warp speed with a like trail of like glitter and lightning behind her.
Yes, heck yeah. Of course that's what happens. So, and yeah, Sullivan, you just get caught up with this like comet blast of glitter behind you. So you're all together, you're all right there. Sullivan has his sword pointed down. Darcy, what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, because she doesn't see it coming, she's going to scream the entire way that she's pulled through that thing because she doesn't see it coming at all. Otherwise, she's gonna, as she sort of arrives, she sort of wipes her eyes trying to get focused because I'm assuming there's even just like some glitter specks like trying to catch up, sort of dusting herself off like, wow. Oh, right. And then like, walks over to Hank and where Sullivan is and kind of just assesses the situation to see what Hank's state is in and can we see Bigfoot.
Great questions. Hank is not moving and his eyes are bulging at kind of an unusual angle in his head. There's a vine wrapped around his throat, or rather a root. He does not seem like he's alive. In the distance, and this is just at a glance, but pretty sure, in the distance looking out, you see a blur of movement. It is roughly the same color as the bark of the redwood trees, and it is very hard. The same way that you feel like your eyes are watering from stepping forward and getting magic glitter in your eyes, it feels physically uncomfortable to focus on this point in the distance.
I think she blinks a few times looking in this direction, but she has no intention of chasing it right now or anything like that. If anything, she sort of looks to Sullivan and puts like a hand on like his arm and be like, Sully, let him go. Let him go. He's gone.
What? What do you mean? I was just trying to stop him.
He looks really crushed.
How? What did you do?
I just want to stop him. He shot at me. He shot at the Bigfoot.
It's okay. It's fine. He was, and she's sort of looking down at him. He was a really bad person, okay? Like, and she's looking mildly horrified at what's happened, but is really trying to keep her cool. It's like, it's fine. Just drop him.
I try and get the vines to let go.
I should say roots, right? So the roots just kind of like open and retract and go back to where they were. And this is pretty gruesome. His head is turned to the side. There are a lot of like pulling, like squeezing marks across his body. He got kind of juiced, and he, like, his whole body looks twisted to the side inside of his clothing.
And I think Darcy sort of pauses and looks at all of them, and it's weird. It's like something kicks in. She's like, where's his camera?
Right.
Where is his camera? She starts like looking around for it.
That's a lot easier to answer because it's face up looking at you from about 10 feet away, right there in the leaf litter where he got drug away. And you can see the little red recording light is on.
Do we know if it's live or if it's just recording?
I don't know, do you?
She sort of just withdraws back from it a little bit and puts a finger on her lips and sort of walks over to the camera and goes, oh my gosh, what happened to him? What happened to him? And starts making a panicked thing about something that came from nowhere these vines, and she picks up the camera to see if she can see if it's live, turning it away from everything. And is that...
Yeah, it's recording and broadcasting.
Okay. And she's holding it away and looks to the others, literally like, what do we do? This sounds really stupid, but I have erased memories. Can I use it on a camera?
That's a really good question. I feel like the answer here is that people have been using their powers in some pretty kick-ass ways. And I don't really ever want to make that a bad thing. The downside is it really feels like it's supposed to work on someone in particular, right? Like their mind.
Can I use it to channel through the live to the viewers?
Okay, no. I am going to preface this with our horror number right now is 9. And when that goes badly, it is going to go badly in exactly the way you think it is.
Yeah.
So it is up to you. You can see that right now the air feels fraught with a tense energy. And if you want to go that route, I have declared my stipulation.
That's so tempting just for chaos reasons.
Oh, and you're going to have to spend 2 more points than average because of the fact we're extending our abilities.
Yeah.
So you have roughly like a, 45% chance it's going to result in something very, very bad happening, like you being discovered by everyone on the entire Earth.
And when we say being discovered, just me or the group?
I reserve the right to mess with you guys as much as possible. I would say realistically, you have a very good chance of displaying magic, demonic powers to people all across the world who watch this broadcast.
I think she's going to look to the others before she does anything. But she's trying to be like as quiet as possible, like mouthing the words. Like, is Cassie anywhere nearby? Has anything like this happened before?
Cassie is looking at you like you are a crazy person, and just like,
I think Cameron like pulls out her phone and tries to see if she has any service, and is like she's frantically pulling up his channel to like see if it's live and confirm like, oh shit. And she's like she's in the comments and she's looking at like, what are people saying right now?
we did state last game no one has any coverage right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. So I guess Cameron pulls it up and is like, I don't know. And
you have the no bars, a little like crossed out cell tower image, and yeah.
I think she puts it away and then walks over, like, to get real close to Darcy. So like, and then maybe waves Sullivan over so they can like whisper to each other without hopefully the live audience.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like muffle it, if anything. If it's got one of those mufflers on top, she's like
sure.
clamped her hand
Sure.
over it.
This is all super reasonable stuff.
Off.
Cassie has put her knife away, by the way. She's like, just turn it off. Just turn it off.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else we can do besides just turn it off?
You all run like crazy and get the hell out of this town.
Yeah, but that we do like later. What do we do? What do we do right now?
I don't know. I know somebody in Mexico. I can get you in contact with them. I would suggest that.
No, I'm gonna go back home. But Darcy, Sully, can
I could wipe it, but if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I could end up broadcasting us to everyone.
Don't do that.
Turn it off.
Just you all go and run and get the hell out of my town.
I'm not going to Mexico. And she's like starting to get leery at Cassie.
What if you were on a camera right now killing a person? Do you think that's better than going to Mexico?
She switches it off.
Oh man, I can't wait to get back to reception and see what the channel's most recent video looks like.
They saw... I think they just saw my face, so it's fine.
That's not
Out of
fine.
what happened anyway. Like, is she sort of looking over at Hank? Like, I guess they saw all of that as well.
None of this is fine. You really, really should leave town. It's not worth it.
Okay, what do we do with this? She holds the camera.
How about you leave it here and just wipe it down?
Do I destroy it?
I don't know how that makes it better. I guess you should. I don't know. Do the fire thing.
And she does. She just ignites her hand and sets the
You
thing.
are skilled at breaking things. It's
Mhm.
not really a question of whether or not
It's-
this is going to break.
Yeah, it's a mixture of fire and crushing it. She stamps it out before it goes onto the ground.
Okay. One more time. Being a person who has actually killed people and demons before, I strongly recommend you get the hell out of town. And you probably shouldn't even stay together. You should probably all go to different places.
Well, we all kind of rode here with you.
I mean, I can drop you off at the bus station and you guys can grab 3 different buses or something like that, but someone's going to miss this guy someday.
I don't want to split up. And yeah, no, I don't want to split up. But we should.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to tell Libby that we were out here in the forest and you all killed someone while I was standing right here and I'm on a video. I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
They saw trees kill him, no one else.
We don't know what they saw. I didn't see the video. I don't and she picks up her phone. I don't have coverage. I don't know what's going on right now.
We need to go home.
Look, I know you all meant well. If you want to risk an hour, I will show you the Bigfoot.
I kind of want to come here to do the thing we were going to do. I mean, oh God, Josie had a really good idea yesterday. Maybe we take a picture of a Bigfoot, but then we post it on our site and we tell people the picture was taken like way far away. And then hunters like this guy, maybe they stop coming out here and they go somewhere where they can't harm anybody.
It also puts us in this location.
I mean, I'm just kind of worried for all of you in general and for myself. And I appreciate that you're trying to do the right thing. I will show you the Bigfoot if you're really curious. I mean, there's one right there. But I mean, after that, you really do need to get out of this town. It can't be safe for you here.
Darcy's kind of just looking at this broken, burnt up camera on the floor, not really paying attention fully. It's like she's just got loads and loads of thoughts running through her head. And if anyone's close enough, they'll probably hear like, what would Marco do?
Yeah. Yeah. If they get wormed in your ear right then, yeah. So you've just got this burned up, charred, like little carbon wreck lying on the ground. Do you want to see the Bigfoot? Do you want to? You're going to have to seriously cool it down with all of the fire and stuff like that, because they don't need that.
I wouldn't do that.
Whew. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, we're probably, I mean, the witch is gone and so is this problem. So, and then Cameron will like let down her magic and we'll go back to her flannel wearing self.
How's Sullivan doing?
Sullivan, after the camera got destroyed, Sullivan moved over to Hank, and I would like to use grasping foliage to bury Hank's body, if you'll let me.
Yeah, that happens. I'm going to say you don't even have to spend on that, because we've already spent a lot of intellect points at this point, but the forester's pretty happy with that idea, and it just kind of grows over, and there's like a mound for a moment, and then just kind of pushes down into the ground.
And I think while it's doing that, Sullivan's got his hands on the sword, and he's actually saying something like a prayer.
Do you think anybody else notices? Do you think
quiet
Darcy
otherwise?
Cameron? Yeah. Darcy, Cameron, do you think you noticed that Sullivan was doing all that?
I think I'd notice him saying a prayer or something like that.
Okay. But about that time is when Cassie has now stopped haranguing you all to move to Mexico and so forth, and she's now trumping it very gently. First off, her hands, I can't do the shape right now because I don't have the space, but her hands are projecting out to her sides, kind of like a triangular position. So they're down by her hips, but really wide. And she's taking big steps, and she's moving kind of side to side, one leg over the other like this, really bent forward knee. And then she takes another big step. It looks very, very purposeful, and it's kind of like a swinging gait. It looks kind of like if you've ever seen somebody do like a capoeira type routine. She's got this real like side to side shuffle thing going as she walks forward, and she's continuing out in the distance. That spot you really can't focus your eyes on, it's not moving right now. And as you're getting closer, it is less painful to your eyes, but it's still not really resolving itself.
I think Darcy watches her go a little bit, but sort of falls back to whatever Sullivan is doing with this body disappearing into the forest.
This has been a lot of trouble. We better come back with a picture.
Yeah, no, I agree. We can have Josie, do her magic to make it, do her computer whiz stuff to make sure it seems like it's from somewhere else. That can be the good we do here.
Darcy just sort of slowly nods.
So how is everybody proceeding? You've seen how Cassie's moving. Well, how are you all moving?
I don't think Sullivan moves towards it.
Okay.
Darcy's the only one with the camera, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to probably actually move in a similar way.
Okay, this is a fun thing that we're doing. So there is no horror threshold triggering, but we are going to make a speed roll to try to copy this graceful movement that is being done. And the difficulty is just a 2. Repeating again, there will be no triggering of the horror threshold, just in case Scrat is having fun with that. So, nope.
Hey,
Very nice. Yeah, it seems pretty natural to you. It's the movement of a bigger creature, something heavier built. Yeah, totally makes sense. And you're able to easily copy. How about Cameron?
Cameron's doing the same thing. She's kind of like eyes on Cassie. She definitely knows her way around these parts and like knows how to move. So Cameron like kind of sidles up to her and is trying to like mimic that body motion.
Okay. Do you want to make the same roll?
Yes.
And you did. Good. And realistically, nobody would have triggered the horror threshold, but I don't want you guys to constantly feel attacked just because you're constantly attacked. So with that, you have all moved successfully in the fashion, except for Sullivan, that is being shown by Cassie. And as you get closer, the shimmering kind of settles down, and there is a large humanoid with very shaggy body hair that looks very red in color. It seems to match the redwood perfectly. It's like the exact color of the bark. They have very large liquid brown eyes, and they're stooped over just a little bit. They have very, very long arms, long enough where it goes like midway down their calf. So the creature is taller than you, but looks a lot more like a gorilla than like a person in terms of look. Very high forehead, long hair over the top of the body and all the way down. Again, really long arms, very powerful looking hands. And so Cassie says, okay, just be really relaxed because that's a Bigfoot.
Darcy very so watches it for a moment, almost like taking it in, and then very, very steadily will just take out her camera, make sure she gets the right shot, the right angle, because she only wants to do it once. She doesn't want to disturb this creature.
Okay, so you try that. And when you take the shot, you've got it perfectly framed. Everything is exactly the way you want it. And the first shot comes out, and it looks like you sneezed, and there was just like this horrible, blurry, fast speed motion when you take it. It's just kind of like a splash of color.
She pauses. She's like looking at it through the screen and looks at Cassie.
She goes, yeah, that's about what I expected to happen.
I can't.
And there's a reason all the videos look like that. I think you can probably take a photo, but how about you try to do something magic? I don't know.
She pauses momentarily. I don't know how this will work, but does it count as magic if she flicks? She sort of moves away from wherever Cameron and Sullivan are. Just sort of points. I'm gonna go try get a better angle. And she walks away. And she's probably gonna crouch low in the grass and the ferns and the things like that. And I don't know if it counts as magic, but if you could flick her eyes over, it's almost like she's seeing it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is a lot like Darcy's scanning ability that she has.
I was gonna say,
when you really focus your mind and you're applying your perception of the supernatural, you think you've got the shot.
Yeah, she really, really focuses, and if anyone was near her, they'd see her eyes sort of flare up in like that amber yellow color. And she sort of brow tenses, and she'll take the shot then. But again, trying to be as discreet as possible so it doesn't disturb it.
The thing that you immediately notice is all of these wax sculptures and all of those pictures and drawings that you saw in the Bigfoot Discovery Museum, they are very, very accurate. The way this creature has been depicted, the way that it looks, the way that it's like got this very gentle, peaceful demeanor, you've captured all of that. And there's a moment there where you know that when people see this photo, it will be immediately dismissed as a fake because it is such a good and real representation of what this creature looks like. And you just saw a lot of what you thought were very bad representations that are exactly the same. But you got your shot.
She almost has like a sort of a little quiet chuckle to herself about it, knowing it's not going to work, and just swings her camera over her side and quietly moves back to the group.
Cassie says, you know, the only good thing about that whole thing is you're going to make Mark Hansen really happy.
Sort of just smiles and nods and walks past us. Can we go to the bus stop now, please?
Yeah, I'll drive you to the bus stop. So, are we going to talk about anything on the walk back through the forest?
I think Darcy walks over to Sullivan and is like, "Are you okay? Like, how are you holding up after that? You looked pretty like it wasn't intentional."
I was just trying to protect it.
You did.
Yeah, but he's dead because of it.
Yes. I guess the only way to look at it was that he was a horrible person, Sully. I know that's not like a justification or anything like that, but he was a bully and he was going to kill him. He was going to kill you. He shot in your direction.
She's walking back with you all, and she's, yeah, I mean, I do think you all need to run, but you had every right.
Self-defense. That's what Marco would say. I mean, I know he's a real piece of work, but he does know what he's talking about.
Cassie turns, and she looks really teary-eyed at this point, actually. She turns and she says, look, I have killed people that I didn't mean to kill before over less than that. And you are never going to feel okay about it if you're anything like me. But that is about as justified as it's ever going to get. It's just not what your gifts are meant for, right? It doesn't feel like it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, someone has to protect this land. I mean, if I can only do so much. When I couldn't have gotten there faster. I couldn't have done anything about him. And if you hadn't done something, I mean, it's not like there's a lot of these guys. I mean, how many idiots with big trucks and guns are there? A lot. And there's about 4 of those Bigfoot. And it's a struggle like this every damn day to keep people from doing something stupid like that. I couldn't have done it. I just wasn't fast enough. I would have been stuck in that spell if you guys hadn't done that too. I mean, realistically, I am really upset that you're all here, but if you weren't here, I mean, they all would have died.
We need to get our things from the van.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do about Josie and Lewis?
I mean, if you know where they are.
Can we leave
Cameron
a
does-
message?
Yeah. Can we? The forest is really big. Cameron like does a look, almost like a half-hearted, like, do I see them around here? Doesn't expect to, and then goes, if they disappear together, they're gonna be fine. We're fine. They're gonna be fine. They'll figure it out. I have a lot of faith in them.
I mean, the good news is they weren't there when whatever was broadcasting. And if they get back to town, I'll try to leave a note for them.
Since Sullivan's still on the network, can he tell if they're anywhere?
He cannot. You have, again, the awareness of the network, but you have no sign of Lewis or Josie.
Okay.
You know,
What
if
was
I
the
had
podcast?
to make a guess, they would leave here and go back to that diner and like pick that as like a rally point, you know, somewhere where we're all gonna meet up before heading out. Or I mean, I don't know, maybe we should just go to the bus and leave.
I mean, we have to
We're going to take
get our stuff out of the van. We have to go back at least for a minute.
Walk past and see if they're in there. And keep walking if they're not.
Yeah.
After a minute, the van comes into focus. It's easy to see off in the distance. You all crest that hill and come down towards the road. There are other cars on the road. And now as you're walking, you can see like in the distance, there's like an Outback going down the street. There's a big truck going down the street. You are right there on the highway after all. And your lightning struck, beat up, magicked out van is just kind of like gently parked up on the hill. If I recall, no, that was the first time. It's just up on the hill.
It was by the diner in the garage. They got towed.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did we go with Josie's? Did we take Cassie's truck all the way up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Revise what I said to Cassie's truck, but all the other things.
Cassie wouldn't let us take the magic van into the woods. She thought it was
Cassie.
weird.
I mean, that
it's
was
spooky,
probably
but yeah.
smart.
Our spooky pirate ship van.
It's really good, but yeah. So, in that case, Cassie's truck is there, and no one else. So y'all can get into the tow truck if you want. Short drive back to Felton, and you pull up out in front of Phil's Diner and over by the Bigfoot Discovery Museum. I think that's where we left the van.
Yeah.
Really full parking lot. There are 10 cars out in front of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum right now. There are some small children running around screaming in the parking lot because that's what I love in life, is small children screaming. There's also like a very large golden retriever type dog, and someone is like leading it around and trying to get it to catch a stick, something like that. And yeah, your van.
When they get back to, like, the moment they're back on like cell service and on the network, Cameron's like once again like pulling up that his stream where Hank Young would have been streaming, and she's looking to see like what is the last video that he had up, and then is like hoping that she can scrub to the last bit.
Yeah, you found it. You pulled it up. It was posted 15 minutes ago, and the downside is you are lagging. You are on like the maybe 3G coverage out here in the wilderness. So you got there, and when you're jumping, you're only able to jump like 5-minute increments. And this video is an hour and 13 minutes. So it is abominably slow, and it's really just me messing with you as much as possible that you can't get right to the end right away, but you are like almost there. And you seem to recall there was Wi-Fi in the museum.
Yeah, I think Kara wants to get to Wi-Fi. She's like, she's been like just the whole time like, come on, and she has it up in like 3 different browsers, is hoping refreshing works, which actually has set her back a couple times, and just like wants to see the last bit.
Yep. Okay, so what's Darcy doing?
Darcy is sort of following Cameron, almost trying to keep a distance from all of them, purely because they probably shouldn't be seen together as much. Like, she doesn't want to make a really huge connection with them, but she can't help but look over Cameron's shoulder every now and then to see what's on the video, because that's what's really sort of grinding like in her thoughts right now, every now and then sort of checking back on Sully because of what happened.
Okay. And then lastly, what's Sullivan doing?
Sullivan just goes right to the van and starts getting anything that was people packed and brought with them.
Okay. So you go over to the van, you are about to wrench the door open when you feel a tapping or like a hard press against your right leg, like right where your pocket is. And you have a very large golden retriever nose like push against your body, and you get that of like a very enthusiastic dog making a strong connection with you.
I think, considering what happened, Sullivan actually like gets down on his knees and he hugs the dog and he starts to cry.
There is a young boy who is coming over to you and now looks really like weirded out. He's like real slim, kind of like a like a mocha-ish skin color, like a gently brown skin color, and he has like loose curly hair. And he's looking at you like you are crazy, but also like you are holding his dog, and like he doesn't really want to disturb you in that. He is holding a stick.
As soon as Sullivan realizes that that's going on, he gets himself under control and he gives the dog a scratch, and it's just like, go catch the stick, make him happy. And then he stands
Come on, Sporty.
up.
Come here, Sporty. And he like holds the stick and he throws it out in the distance, and the dog runs over frantically, grabs the stick, slobbers all over the place, shakes his head back and forth, runs over to you and starts hitting you in the leg with the stick. It's like that snout bork as he's like bonking you with the thing.
Sullivan takes the stick and he's just like looks down at the dog and he's like, one time, and then he'll haul back as hard as he can.
Dog flips
not
out,
in the direction of the freeway.
Okay, I have a horror threshold, but I also am a dog aficionado. We're not.
I understand.
I
understand. We're probably unlikely to hurt the dog. I just want to make sure.
Hard line right now. This dog is not getting hurt. This dog is off limits. By the way, this dog is named by A. Kelly Lane. This dog's name is Sporty. I did actually consult with Kelly just to name this dog, just so we are clear. So with that, yes, the dog runs over. You told the dog one time. So we're going to pan away from you for the next 3 minutes because you know the dog did not listen. Okay, just so we're clear about that. Hey, Cameron, you've refreshed the end of the video. There is a moment there where you hear the bang of the rifle's report. And at that second, he goes, what the hell is that? And he turns around and he's looking, and you see a misty outline of someone running towards. And when the gun fires the second time, there's like something whips up and hits the camera, and it's pointing off to the side a little bit like this, and just suddenly kind of falls out of frame and bump, bump, bump. And you see leaf litter in the base of a tree. And a couple seconds later, you see the toe of Darcy's shoe. And then it moves out of frame. And then nothing. And then it just goes very abrupt end.
I think Cameron rewinds it, watches it again, rewinds it, watches it again. And after maybe that fifth watch, feels like finally comfortable breathing out a very like heavy sigh of relief. And her only thought is Darcy needs to throw away those shoes.
Yeah, so if you were watching it really hard and you wanted to use some sort of like CIA grade computer technology to reconstruct pixels, you could probably tell there were 4 people in that shot, and you could probably figure out the lead person is Sullivan, like by body type, but you really can't see his face at all. Additionally, yes, you can totally tell the kind of shoe that Darcy is wearing, which I believe is a Birkenstock. Yeah, so there's some toes probably. But you're not wearing Birkenstocks with socks, are you? Okay, because I would have to strongly object to your character choices.
No, that's like a pet hate of mine.
Yeah, all right. So as long as we've gotten past that point, that seems to be what's contained in this video. But there is clearly Hank shooting at what seems to be a Bigfoot and shooting at a person.
Cameron, I think, takes both of those as a win. She doesn't love that, like, she's hoping that she can only tell it's Sully because she knows that it's Sully, and will pass this off to Josie like the moment she's able to. But she thinks it's probably a good thing that Hank is on video shooting at a person who hasn't done anything to him, and will probably like make this whole thing look suspect. And so she kind of breathes out, and then I think she goes to kind of like tell Darcy the quote unquote good news.
So Darcy's right there, looking over your shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, Darcy's been like looking over your shoulder. She's
like,
if you turn to look at her, she looks so happy. Like she looks so happy about everything. But sort of briefly looks down at her shoes, suddenly worries if there's CCTV in here, and walks straight back out of the shop.
Oh man, I think maybe even Cameron thought, like, completely forgot Darcy was there, or anyone was there for that matter.
Yeah, there's like 5 families walking around this building right now. So yeah, just luckily nobody's very interested in you. They're all too busy being interested in Bigfoot. Outside, Sullivan, how many times have you thrown that stick now?
Probably a dozen or more.
This dog shows no signs of flagging, and the boy's now sitting down on the ground next to you, and he is now telling you his life story as far as you can tell. He says, and my dad is always here at the museum, and I'm in the 3rd grade, and this is Sporty, and Sporty is 10, and he's just going on and on and on. I don't know how much of that you're really registering.
I don't know, because as a dad, I would have tuned out eventually, but sometimes other people are super interested in what the kids are saying because if they're not used to being around them all the time.
Yeah. Well, you tell me.
I think Sullivan lets the kid talk to him, and he lets the distraction happen of the kid and the dog. So he's very interested right now.
So this boy's name is Josh. He is the son of the mother. Okay, he is the son of the wife of the person who runs the museum, but that's not his dad. That's his stepdad. And this is Sporty. Sporty is his dog. It was originally his mom's dog, but now it's his dog. And I guess his mom's dog. And I guess his dad's dog. And Sporty is 10. And Sporty also knows how to sit and can roll over. These are the things you've learned.
Sounds nice. Sounds good. Get him to roll over.
Okay, so Josh now looks really seriously at Sporty. He's like taking the stick away and he's put it behind his back in his back pocket. And Sporty is doing this with his head constantly, trying to find the stick. And he said, roll over, Sporty, roll over. And nothing. Still looking back and forth. Sporty, roll over. Nothing. Okay, the dog is not rolled over. Darcy has walked outside.
Darcy has come running towards Sullivan like, it's good. Oh, hi.
Hi. Okay, he's going to roll over now. Roll over.
Sonny, what's happening?
Nothing.
I want to say Sullivan's just slightly behind Josh, and Sullivan eventually is like,
make an intellect roll. Oh, by the way, Scrat, can we drop our horror number back down to 1? Because I think we've gotten past our most horrible moments for a little while.
Oh boy.
I got a 7.
Yeah, it's a dog. It works. The dog rolls over. When the dog rolls over, he's not super fast.
Sullivan's just like, you did a good job training him.
I don't think I actually taught him how to do that, but my mom did. But he can catch a stick.
Okay.
You want me to show you how he catches a stick again? And he brings the stick out. And he throws the stick.
Darcy sort of doesn't approach the boy and his dog so much, so kind of like stands a little bit at a distance.
We get rated while we're playing fetch for the dog. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Darcy, the good news is you are new. And the dog has noticed you are new. And while you were standing there, you now have a big golden retriever come up and put a stick up against your leg with a lot of
She's
like lots of nose bonking.
Oh, you don't mind? And it sort of like reaches down and picks up the stick, doesn't really know what to do, waves it a bit, and then she really throws it by accident, but like there's a lot of effort behind it without realizing it.
The dog flips out, goes running out into the distance.
That was maybe a little bit far.
No, he's fine. He likes it.
Okay, I don't normally I'm not normally around dogs, so I don't know.
So what's Cameron doing inside? Is Cameron coming back outside?
After, I think she watches the video again for good measure. And then I think she shows it to Cassie. Is she still around?
She's back towards the station. Are you going to walk over there?
Yeah, I think Cameron steps out of the truck, and because Cassie was there, Cameron wants to show it to her and show her the good news.
So here's a fun thing about Cassie. By the time you walk back in there, having watched this video, this was like maybe 8 minutes. She has a military-style backpack on top of her counter. She is putting what looks like the last of her possessions into a side pocket. There's a note that says Libby on it, already written on the table, and she's about to pick this thing up off the counter. And she says, okay, you ready?
What? Hold on. Ready for what?
We're going to get out of here.
What? That looks like a go bag. Are you?
Ye-
How long do you plan on getting out of here for?
I'm not coming back.
Okay? Whoa! You've got a Libby here that you have to stay here for. And look at this. The video's not that bad. I don't think we have to go anywhere. Look, just watch this and please put that bag down. Okay, just watch this first.
Okay. She watches the video and she is now about to punch you. Do you want to do anything about that?
I think Cameron just like puts up her hands in like a block. She's not gonna try and dodge. She's not gonna try and punch back. She's just gonna be like, okay, try me. It's not gonna do anything.
Okay, but you have 1 armor, right?
Correct.
So you are still going to take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Which goes to your might. That is your arm's getting bruised because she punches you as hard as she can, like she's going to punch you in the face. And she says, don't tell me what to do with my life. I have done this before, and what part of loving someone do you think means you stay there and let yourself be accused of murder or some other horrible crime and make them go through that?
Do you really think you're going to be accused of any of that based off of this?
You told me what to do before I watched the video. I'm fine with not leaving, but don't judge how I do my things. I know what it's like to be an actual wanted fugitive for murder. Okay?
I think when you love someone, you don't run away. I mean,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, actually I do. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know from experience, but I've read a lot of books about it.
Yeah, I have done it before. And when
Nice.
you're framed for murder or responsible for murder, it does do terrible things to the people you love when they have to watch that and be there for that. I wouldn't do that again.
I don't think you're doing it this time.
Yeah, now I'm not. But again, don't tell me how to live my life. I'll watch a video. It's fine. It's a bag. I can put it down.
Okay. And then maybe unpack it and tear up whatever that note says?
I really think you should get the hell out of here right now.
I think that maybe you should thank me. But okay. Yeah. And Cameron kind of like looks at the little bruise on her arms and like nods like, I'll take this as a badge of honor.
As you are walking out the door of the gas station, which I'm assuming you were doing.
Yeah. But like Cameron gives her like a knowing glance and is like almost waiting until like she like to make sure Cassie's not going with her go bag.
There is a very loud thunk in the wood to the right of your head as you are leaving the door. And Cass has thrown that knife at your head, but not directly at your head, just near your head.
I think Cameron gives like a oh shit, and then a nod of approval. Like she definitely feels like she's.
Yep.
Are you best friend tier now?
I think Cameron, this is like the respect tier. I think Cameron's like really into like Cassie's shown herself to be like a big, strong lady, which Cameron likes quite a bit. So she gives like a nod of respect and then leaves.
Off camera for the audience, when Cameron leaves, Cassie flips her off and goes back to unpacking her bag. Okay. So, Darcy, you've now thrown the stick 8 times.
She's starting to enjoy it like a bit too much and probably throwing it further than she should.
Sporty is 10, and he is now at the point where he has like the frothy drool going all down his head, and his eyes have become big, like circular black circles. And he is just like, but he looks tired. He is a tired dog now.
This is like my nan's dog. This is what's going to kill him. She's going to stop and put like the stick down, like, you need to rest first. I'm going to put the stick down. I'm putting it down. And like literally.
He does the thing where the dog lowers down like it's on hydraulics and it just lays flat on the ground, but it's still intensely looking at you.
He's like, you rest, stay, rest. And like backing away from this dog. Not out of fear or anything, but please stay calm. Don't do anything excitable to hurt yourself.
Yep. So, you're all in the parking lot now.
Are we getting a lift from Cassie?
I think that was the plan.
I think Cameron walks over. I don't know if Cassie would want to give us a ride. She'd probably prefer we take the bus back, which wouldn't be too bad from here.
Do we need to get to the bus station?
Oh, you're right. I think someone else should probably ask Cassie for that ride.
Josh is sitting down by you all right now while you're doing that. And he says, if you guys need a ride to the bus station, my mom could probably take you.
Who are you? Like, Darcy realized she's not actually spoken to this kid. It's like, I'm what? Hi.
This
Hi,
is
my name's Josh Lewis, and I'm 10.
He's in
and
third
I'm in
grade.
third grade. And my mom's Sylvia, and she's married to Mark Hansen, and he's the guy who owns the museum, and he's my stepdad. He's not my real dad.
And the dog is
This is
Sporty,
Sporty.
and he's 10.
It's very nice to meet you, Josh. And she's like giving a weird look towards Sully at the same time.
This is revenge on Alice for every Alice child NPC ever.
You like those. You like
I do.
those
I love them. They're so
NPCs.
good. I do.
And Darcy sort of pauses. It's like, would your mum mind giving us a lift to the bus station? How do you know how far away it is?
I don't think it's far. Let me go ask Mom. I'm running into the building.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming Sporty's still there, just staring at the stick.
Yeah, I would not go near that stick if I were you.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to.
So a couple minutes later, a lady walks out, and Sylvia Lewis, she looks very laid back. Her hair is braided and kind of like coming back behind her body here. She looks like she's wearing like a sweatshirt that says Santa Cruz across the front here, and just basic blue jeans. She looks very comfortable, very relaxed. And when she sees you all, she kind of gives you a look and she goes, okay, did you all ask Josh if I could give you a ride to the bus station, or is he just, Well,
he suggested it and I just asked. I hope that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have, Mark's got things covered. I can take you down to the bus station.
I stopped throwing the stick for your dog because
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he needs a rest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That dog is a fool. He will throw that stick all day. Catch that stick all day.
Okay. And she looks to Cameron and Sully as like, have we got everything we need? Should we leave a note for Josie and Lewis? Like, in the van?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, just in case. Here, I'll text the group chat, and just in case.
Why don't we just try and call them? We've got signal.
Oh, you're right. Maybe they have it too now.
If they don't,
Okay.
we need to leave something.
Yeah. I think Cameron will try and give it a call. First she'll call Lewis, then she'll call Josie and see if anyone picks up.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How much attention are you paying to your phones and all of your different things while you're going through this, notifications and so forth? Are you trying to stay on task?
Cameron hates having any, like whenever the red bubbles pop up next to your phone apps that have a 1 or a 2 or anything, she hates seeing any of those on literally everything. So it's like habitually clearing everything off.
Well, downside, you got some stuff. So first off, the group chat has one new message.
Ooh.
It is from Agatha. And it says, "Where's Lewis?" It's from an hour and a half ago. No, I'm sorry. Let's say 2.5 hours ago. I gotta do some time thinking here. It's from right after you guys got out of the dreamscape.
Cameron like shoots Sully and Darcy a glance, grimaces, and then texts back, "We did what we needed to in the dreamscape and got out."
Okay. Number 2, not in your group messages, you have a separate notification.
Cameron opens that.
It's from your Aunt Tilly. It says, Cameron, where are you?
Ooh, Cameron like looks at this and is like, how does she always, okay, whatever, I don't need to think about that now. Probably magic. Okay. And then texts back, in a national forest with the HoroScoopers, heading back now. She doesn't want to give too much information, especially with this video looming, but she wants to give Tilly an idea of where she's at.
Okay, good stuff. Anybody else checking their phones? Is anybody else clued into this, or is everybody just gonna get in the van?
Seeing Cameron's reaction, Darcy will like open her phone and start looking and see the one from Agatha at least.
You have one notification. It is a text message from your brother Marco.
And she's like, oh god. Like you physically see her like recoil, like, oh why? And she'll open it.
It is a smiley face emoji, and then it says, call me.
Oh, I don't want to call
The smiley face emoji is the one with the little horns.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to call you. Oh, but the longer I wait, the more he's gonna get over with, and then you can blame it on bad signal. And then she's like, sort of walks away from the group a little bit and will click on to call Marco with the idea if she calls him here, she can be like, I'm in a forest, I'm losing signal. And just
The signal is actually really bad. There's a lot of that like coming across while you're doing this. And you can hear your brother say, hi, Darcy.
Hiya. How are you? I got your message. So I thought I'd give you a call. Heads up, signal's not great here right now.
I can barely hear what you're saying.
That's what I mean. The signal's real bad.
Okay, you can just call me when you get back into town.
Okay. Like, it sounds mildly disappointed. I'll do it when I get back to the office or something.
All right.
Bye. And quickly, like, hangs up.
Yeah. So, remarkably short. Sullivan, you feeling any need to see your phone?
Yeah, probably.
You also have one message.
Cool.
You have a voice message.
I will do the whole, what's the voice message?
Yeah, so the voice message is Bill. And Bill says, hey, Sullivan, I got a phone call for you here at the office. Really weird. I don't know the person involved, but they left a phone number for you. And he gives you a San Francisco phone number, as best you can tell. And he says, and their name's Amy. Okay, bye.
I wonder what that's about. Should we probably shouldn't keep the nice lady waiting any longer.
No, we need to go, and then I've got to call my brother when I get back, so I'd rather get this over and done with now.
She's just sitting down on the stoop, scratching Sporty with both hands like this behind the ears.
Cameron, you ready?
Yeah. Maybe Sporty wants to come for a car ride with us.
She says, no, he's got to stay here. That dog, I mean, already he smells. I don't want him in the car with me.
Fair. All right. Yeah, let's, yeah, if you could take us to the bus stop, that'd be great.
Sure, sure. She beeps the key to her, like, big Chevy minivan.
Can I clean the dog with hedge magic?
Of course you can clean the dog with hedge magic. I'm surprised you even asked that. That's like the best use of magic ever.
I would like to do it and try and be subtle, please.
Okay. All you have to do, well, how subtle are we talking about?
Like, I don't want anyone that's not Cameron or Darcy to notice that I'm doing this.
Okay, cool. Let's roll and just not roll a 1.
Okay. I'll just roll it with that. That's not a 1.
It's not a 1. Everything is great. This is a clean dog. And what does it smell like?
It just smells like clean dog.
You didn't go for like a new car smell or something like that. That's fine. Okay.
No.
So
it just it doesn't smell like a dog that just ran for who knows how long to chase a stick.
I don't know about you guys, but when I think about a clean dog, I mostly think about smell. So, okay, long story short, dog smells good. Does not smell like you just made it run over and over again for 30 minutes. So, yeah, great. No one saw.
Cool. Then he'll, if, because she was unlocking the car, he'll slide in and he'll just be like, come on.
Did you slide in a shotgun or did you get in the back seat?
Sullivan will get in the back this time.
Okay. And what does Cameron do?
She'll slide in the back, kind of half expecting them all to squish on the bench.
Darcy, what do you do?
Darcy feels like if like a parent is driving her somewhere, so she gets in the back as well and like puts her seatbelt on really slowly.
Okay, and of course Sylvia looks back in her rearview mirror and says, "Everybody's got their seatbelts on, right?"
Yes, ma'am.
She drives. Yeah. She drives very slow down Highway 17 into Santa Cruz. The bus stop is like all the way down back on Highway 1. So she does drive you for like a good 20 minutes. And then you're there. And it's a normal bus stop. And you are about an hour before the next bus that's going to go up towards the city.
It's like, thank you. It's like so fun.
As she drives off in her van.
Okay, so are we taking separate buses or are we just getting on one together?
I mean, Cassie said we should split up. Because out of character, Sullivan doesn't know about the video yet.
So at this, I think Cameron like shrugs and says, you know, I've watched the video now, I think 10 times, and it's not that bad. Sully, look, you can, I mean, you'll see for yourself. And she like has it queued on the same spot she's been restarting it from, and we'll show it for Sully as well.
He doesn't
Sullivan,
watch it.
you know it. Okay. Oh.
No, he's like, no, I don't want to see it.
Oh, right. Okay, well, you can't really tell who's in it. You can't really tell what happened. You can kind of see there's 4 people. You can kind of hear some noises, but can't really tell who those people are unless maybe you're Josie. So I don't.
Elsie's like slowly taking her shoes off and walking over if there's like a bin or a trash can or something. It's like to go and put them.
Really good idea. Also, Darcy, I need you to make a perception roll.
Oh no.
Your difficulty is only 2.
Okay, that's straight up intellect. Yay!
Ooh.
Well, actually, no, that's
Okay.
going to be a bad thing because I don't want to see whatever this is as I bin my...
Well, you're going to need to tell me why it's so awesome as we get into it, but let me tell you what you're seeing first. You're seeing somebody you recognize from recently on the boardwalk, like right here by this bus stop, as you're holding your shoes in your hands, walking towards the garbage can. How do you think you want to frame this? What do you want to have be your special cool thing that's going to happen? The person in question is Rebecca's boyfriend from the other night at your apartment.
I think she pauses for a moment and looks at him whilst she's holding like a Birkenstock in each hand.
He's about 100 feet away and not looking directly at you, so he hasn't noticed you.
Question, because he left, didn't he?
He did. He ran away, yes, and also accused you of murder.
And she's just gonna like quickly put her shoes back on, just for a moment, and walk. So look back to the others, like, give me a second. And she's gonna stroll over to him and put her arm over his shoulders and be like, "Hi." And you might notice she grows a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we might notice it. I don't think he will, because he was turned around. He is talking to a different girl who looks like they are dressed for like a spring break type trip. There's like 3 or 4 definite, like, this is party time beachgoer people. There's him, another guy, 2 ladies, and everyone looks a little bit like faded, drunk. And when he sees you and turns around, he, first off, not quite like a fainting goat, but more like a very scared teenager, makes kind of like a high-pitched, like kind of sound. And second off, he stumbles back abruptly. He's like, "Whoa, I just did what they told me."
And she sort of grips him a little bit like tighter, like really digs her things. It's like, "Can you just come? I'm just gonna borrow him just for a second. Excuse me, old friend of mine," and sort of starts leading him away.
We all know that drunk people don't stand up for one another, so they all just kind of like they're all like kind of shuffling off into the boardwalk distance. And this guy's like, "No, I didn't mean it. It's
it's just trying to
look. I just did what he told me to."
And is there like a corner she can take him around, or just something like somewhere out of sight?
Yeah, why not? And
she's been like, push him round the corner, be like, "Who told you to do what?"
No, I didn't mean anything by it. Just, I can't go to jail. I mean, it's just.
You think
it was just like, what? No, I'm just. He said he was going to get me on my conviction. It was easy. It was just like
Who?
He just said I had to be there. What? Huh?
Who?
What's this? Mark? Is it Mark?
And she's going to probably not help it. She's going to close her eyes briefly, and she's going to probably grab this guy very, very tightly, just to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Do we have better signal here now on our phones?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Hang on a second, and I want to ring my brother.
Hello, Darcy.
What the hell is going on?
Which hell are you referring to?
The one you've put me in right now.
Oh,
I've got this. Okay. I've got Rebecca's boyfriend here, and she's really trying to calm her voice, but it sounds quite shaky.
Which Rebecca now? Your roommate?
Yes.
She doesn't strike me as the kind of person who has boyfriends. Does she strike you as the kind of person that has boyfriends?
And what is happening, Marco?
I don't know. What exactly are you doing? Have you done something to someone?
What did you tell him to do? Is this him? And like she turns back to like the guy is like, "Is this him?" And like shoves him on the phone. Talk, say hello.
No, I just did what you told me to. I was just there. She got drunk. It wasn't anything big. It was she's fine. Everything's fine. I just said the thing I said. They just took a statement. She's fine. She's right here. And he continues to babble like that.
And again, she just puts like a hand over his mouth, but now she's gripping him by like his mouth, like his face, just holding him there. And back to Marco's like, "What is this? What are you trying to do?"
"Oh, I'm just doing the usual thing, Marcia. Or Darcy, I'm just giving you a little bit of incentive, that's all."
Stop. Stop it. Just stop it.
I'll stop this one, but I mean, it's all a big game. Someone's got to win.
And he can probably hear her take a physical, like, deep breath, like, okay, this is okay, this is fine.
Yeah. Did you get me the thing that I was asking you about last time?
Why do you need it? Because lately, I've been really dealing with some shit is happening.
It's true. It's true. I can sense you're under some pressure.
You are putting me under this pressure. I know why you're doing it, and you're not going to win, Marco.
I mean, Darcy, if I don't win, who's going to win?
Why does there need to be a winner? Like, she starts like
Darcy,
getting a little high pitched.
I would not tell Dad that you said that. Can you imagine what our father would say?
I don't know, because I don't really talk to him anymore.
You know exactly what he would say. There has to be a winner.
Well, it's not going to be you.
I don't know. I feel like I'm ahead.
Ahead how?
Well, I mean, it took you this long for this one. I mean,
you're just trying to screw up my life over and over again? Can't you go and play a game with someone else?
No, you have the thing I need. You're the one who decided to go get that job.
Because I wanted to be a photographer.
But you could still be a photographer. I tell you what, just why don't you just kill the people that live there, and then I will help you move the business name into your name. Then you can be a photographer all day long.
Oh my gosh, no! Jesus.
You don't have to stab them or anything. I mean, it's really simple. No, I told you I plan to win. But I mean, you don't have to stab them. You could just poison them. Just something really simple. They take a lot of takeout food in, I've noticed. I mean, I don't really have to include you, but at this point now, I really feel like you're an accessory. You might as well benefit from it.
What do you... And she, again, there's a pause where she steadies herself, and this guy, who probably feels the grip tighter on his face as she gets a little bit bigger.
He is crying onto your hand right now as you hold his face firmly, yes.
Yeah, she's just like, stop crying. And puts back on the phone. It's like, what are you planning? You don't come anywhere near any of them.
Again, I don't really have to do this, but I do need your help taking care of things.
If you need my help, then you'll leave them alone.
Sure, get me the book. I don't have to murder anyone.
I'm not going to murder anyone.
Because you're going to give me the book.
And she pauses, and she's just really trying to focus, but she gets a little bit bigger again. And she sort of flops a little bit. If I get it, will you leave them alone?
Oh yeah, I only need one thing, Darcy.
But what does this one thing do, Marco?
Well, again, I don't want to discourage you from getting it. What it does for you is it means your friends get left alone, HoroScoops will operate with plenty of capital, and I will take care of that nasty mafia connection they have. And that one does mean kill, yes.
She's silent for a long time. And she remembers back to that name that I think it was Agatha that mentioned. I can't quite remember because it was so long ago. That name she heard and stayed very quiet on. And she is like, is it to do with them?
We're referring to the mafioso that is in charge of all this. Yeah, his name is, oh darn, I want to make sure I get it right. Let me close that planning document. Everybody has to wait for at least 10 seconds. Dun, 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 dun. This is not dramatic pausing. This is me.
There was a name of someone that no one knew the name of, but she recognized.
Oh yeah, and I want to make sure I get it right because mentally I just figured it out, of course, because I took 2 seconds. I was like, that's not it. That's a.
It's like Arcow or something.
It's Arcow or Archon.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Are we going in that direction? No. So you're saying that to Marco?
Yeah.
Darcy, where exactly did you hear that name?
Why?
Well, we can talk about it when I see you next. So about this time is where Sullivan's walking up on the street. Darcy is holding a man by his face who is crying, and Darcy is large. But no, Darcy, it's not really regarding that. That's kind of a separate matter.
Why are they involved?
Really, we shouldn't even discuss this unless we're in the same room.
Fine, then when are we meeting up?
As soon as you have time when you come back to town, preferably with that book under your arm.
I'm on my way back now. I can't promise a book.
If you want to just pop on by, you can just come by my house.
And she physically closes her eyes and sort of dread is like, fine, I'll come by your house.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hey Darcy, What are you going to do to that guy?
Not what you would do. She hangs
Okay.
up.
So Sullivan's standing there. This guy is blubbering
This
like
guy's
tears running down
probably
his...
off the floor a little bit as well by this point.
Yeah. Yep.
What's going on, Darcy?
Sorry, what? And just sort of drops this guy on the floor. She will stand on his t-shirt so he can't move anywhere. Like that, just like holding him in place so he can't move. My brother called. That's all. I was just checking up on my brother. And then this is my tell him your name.
I didn't mean to do it. We should have you should baby to do it.
Tell him your name.
Jamie.
This is Jamie. And he tried to frame me for murder.
Oh. Sullivan punches him.
Okay. He falls down. He is down on the ground.
Mhm. And Darcy's sort of looking at him. And again, just making sure he can't move for just a moment. I need to go and see my brother.
Okay.
I don't know exactly why yet. I don't know what he's going to tell me. But that book I mentioned, the one at HoroScoops or whatever it is, whatever this weird stuff is happening, he wants it. And when my brother wants something, it's not good.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend at the moment.
And she's probably getting a little bit smaller again. Not completely, but her eyes are very yellow and cat-like right now, which she has forgotten. And it's like, I'm going to go there later. I'm not taking the book, just so you know.
I trust you.
And her eyebrows raise at that. Oh. Thank you. And while she's doing this, she's sort of leaning down towards Jamie, who's probably crying, and just like putting a hand on his face to like, and I'd like to erase his memories, please, just as he does it.
Sure. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, I'm gonna use, I think I have an advantage. Yeah.
I don't think you have to. It just costs you 2. So you can just go ahead and spend 2. He's not that important. He's not going to remember he saw you guys.
Yeah, she sort of makes him erase his memory, picks him up, like literally picks him up off the ground, brushes him off a little bit, pushes him back, and goes, "You are too drunk. Go home," and pushes him back into one of the bushes and starts walking. Looks at Sullivan. Sullivan is like, "We should go catch a bus."
Yeah. Well,
so you all walk back towards Cameron.
As I pass the friend group, if the friend group's still there, it's like, he is drunk. I keep walking.
Unfortunately, no one likes Jamie that much, and they all left as soon as he went off and did something else. Poor guy.
I think as they reach Cameron, he's like, I think the schedule said the next one's not for almost an hour. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of hungry.
I could eat.
I could eat. There, God, is there something? And Cameron kind of like looks around. Is there anything like on the corner close by where they could maybe pick up something but still have like eyes on the bus stop? Because Cameron rides the bus pretty often, and she knows that as much as you want to trust the posted bus schedule, it is horseshit. The only thing that's true is a bus will come at some point.
Yep, you are correct. And I mean, I would never, I have to defer to you in all things bus. I know you know this better than I do.
I love my bus.
Realistically, yeah. You guys,
nope.
So you guys have 2 options here. You have the hot dog cart that is at the end of the street, and you can smell sauerkraut from here, or else you can go to the shawarma food truck that is also right there at the end of the street.
insert the gif of why not both?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Both is good. Both is good. Both.
Is like, I want the shawarma, but then I want to like dig a trench through it and then put a hot dog in the trench. And I want to have a hot dog shawarma.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to roll for that. That's not. Okay, hot dog shawarma. Cameron is innovative and really a once in a generation mind. So yes, you get that. What did everybody else get?
Sullivan just gets a hot dog with literally everything and then shawarma and has 2 separate foods that he eats.
So you've learned that this person who sells hot dogs, so they think that the Chicago style hot dog is the best, and they look at you dirtily for all of the ketchup and things like that you put on your hot dog, but they serve it to you.
I mean, it starts out as a Chicago hot dog. He just throws literally everything else on too.
Am I correct in thinking that the Chicago hot dog with ketchup is the thing that Chicago people do not like, or am I making that up? I think that's
I don't know.
illegal.
I don't know what a Chicago hot dog is.
Chicago's 2 states further to the east. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about Santa Cruz is they have a wonderful hot dog company called Parker's, which I have eaten at way too many times while in Santa Cruz. So a Chicago-style hot dog has what? Pepperoncinis, it has celery salt, it's got a couple other things on there, onions. It does not have ketchup, and I think it has mustard, but I could be wrong. But Attack Trick and Track in chat is telling me that that is how a Chicago-style hot dog works. Yeah, no ketchup.
But yeah,
so,
like,
okay.
Whatever condiments this guy's cart has, Sullivan asks for. Onions,
the number of exclamation points that chat is using
everything.
to tell you don't have ketchup, that's how upset the guy is that you put ketchup on your Chicago style hot dog.
Well, in real life, I only eat my stuff with ketchup, so I don't care.
It's okay. That's exactly what my daughter would do. It's good. Okay, and what did Darcy get?
Darcy looks a bit all over the place. She's gone back to normal size now, but she still looks like her mind is elsewhere, irritated. Those eyes are still sort of flared up a little bit, so she tries not to look directly at the guy serving hot dogs. She's like, I just one with everything on it, please. And then if she watches him do it, she's like, but more onions, more than that, more. Like, and she starts getting mildly agitated, but she's like, thank you.
You have a lot of onion on this hot dog. Did you put ketchup on it?
I think she put extra mustard on it.
Okay, and just so that you know, the guy very much appreciates your hot dog choices and compliments you while giving Sullivan a dirty look.
He's like, yep, yeah, thank you, like head down, throws the money at him and goes.
Yep. So that's good. Yeah, so you have all the onions you could possibly want, so that's great. And I don't even know what to do with a hot dog inside of a shawarma, but it's a thing now.
She does a food crime, and she does it pretty good.
They do a food crime.
I appreciate you, Sarah. It's great. So the bus comes, and it's actually about 10 minutes early. So it probably was a good thing you guys were looking out for it. The other thing is the bus is unloading all the people from San Francisco down into Santa Cruz, and it was a full bus on the way down and is pretty empty on the way up. It is the 3 of you guys and 2 elderly ladies.
Darcy goes and sits at the back of the bus, mildly covered in like mustard and trying to not drop onions everywhere, but sits at the back.
Yeah, the 2 elderly ladies are sitting on one seat in the front. Barefoot, yes.
I've made sure to put my sandals back on at some point.
Okay. It makes one
but
of you, that's good.
My feet are obviously like dirty. Trekked around in a forest barefoot.
Yeah, this is not unusual where you are right now. So yeah, it's good. And I don't think Cameron ever took any shoes on or off, so.
No, she likes her shoes on. They are steel-toed. They are laced tightly. They are very practical, or at least that's what she will tell you up and down. And she just kind of slips into the back of the bus with the rest.
Okay, and you guys have like an hour and a half drive back into the city. So any crazy stuff you guys want to get up to on the drive?
Darcy just has cold feet right now. She doesn't normally go, even though she normally wears sandals, she's still very aware right now.
Yep, that's fair.
I think unless someone wants to talk, Sullivan probably just eats his food and gives some to Pockets and like stares off out the window.
panicking about what she's going to do later, so she's not really good conversation right now.
Okay, we arrive in San Francisco. The good news is that the bus station is on Market Street. You guys are like 20 minutes from HoroScoops. If you guys want to take a trolley up the hill, you guys can do that. You'll be fairly close.
She sort of looks down at her feet and is like, do you think there's spare shoes at HoroScoops?
Oh.
They were kind of my only pair. There's a lost and found, right?
Maybe Agatha has some? I know they live upstairs.
That's true.
I can't go to my brother's shoeless.
That's also true.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are pretty close to Marco's house right now.
As she pauses for it, she's like,
Why don't we just...
you know what? I'll go there shoeless. And she starts walking.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no, don't go see. What size are you? Cameron kind of looks down at her own feet, and she's got like big-ish feet. She's like a size 9.
Well, right now I'm a 5.
How do you feel about combat boots?
I can do combat boots.
Okay, you're gonna want to lace them real tight.
Oh no, I grow into them. It's fine.
And Cameron will start unlacing her shoes and be like, probably got a little bit of stank on them, but
Are you sure?
yeah, no, I mean, I'm just going to HoroScoops. I'm not
I'll bring them right back. Like, I'll bring them right back.
Yeah, or don't. I got like 4 pairs. That's the only thing I wear.
Thanks. She sort of slips these massive boots on that look ridiculous compared to the size of the rest of her body.
It's good stuff. Okay, so Darcy's going to clump off towards Marco's house, and then Sullivan and Cameron. What's the plan there? Trolley up the hill?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
None of us are Josie. We're not going to walk all of that, probably.
Okay, so you all go up the hill, and you're heading back towards HoroScoops. Let's do Darcy first. So Darcy, Marco lives downtown, very close to Market Street. In an upstairs high-rise, it is a luxurious, a beautiful building. And when you walk in, the doorman gives you the dirtiest possible look. Not only from the literal dirt and the combat boots, but also just because that's probably how he looks all the time.
Yeah,
He rings your brother?
she looks at him and just wipes her boots on the mat on the way in, not breaking eye contact.
You are the first person who has ever wiped boots on this mat, probably, from the look of the mat. And when he rings your brother, you are given the code or given the instructions to go up to the high-rise, the penthouse. And he actually goes over to the elevator. He has to walk you through with a key card and push a button on the door. And now you're in the private penthouse elevator going all the way up.
She's trying to straighten herself up, like try and stand a bit taller. In general, sort of readjusts. In fact, she takes her glasses off and puts them in her pocket and waits awkwardly and probably moving these massive boots around, trying almost like a distraction of trying to get comfortable in some mud is probably knocking off in this elevator.
Yeah, and this is a nice private elevator, and the music is Mozart. It's just a gentle Mozart background sound as you go on, so there's no proper music or anything like that. There are no buttons in the elevator, and when you get there, it is at the top. The door dings, and there's like a little private entryway, and there's just a big black slab door, and that's it.
She sort of takes a deep breath and goes, "Here we go," and goes and knocks on the door.
And as soon as you knock on the door, it gets opened gently, and your brother is standing inside and says, "Darcy, come on in."
Should I take my shoes off? And she sort of looks down at them.
There's no need. I'll have someone clean after you leave. It's a wide open black tile foyer. You can see a big fancy looking marble fireplace over on the side. And of course, it's a penthouse. So you have windows looking down onto the bay and windows looking down onto the financial district and windows looking up the hill. It's all windows.
I mean, you've got a good view up here.
Well, you know, if you're going to spend lots and lots of money, you got to have a good view.
Makes sense. And she sort of wanders over to the window and has like a look down.
Yeah, you're on like the 37th floor or something like that. It's a good ways down.
Yeah, and she sort of blinks a couple of times, not having the greatest feeling around heights, and backs away from the window. And she's like going around things and like touching them and just poking them, like picking them up and looking at them, trying to act casual, but it's awful.
And he starts talking to you and then stops when you pick up something really expensive. And it happens a couple of times. And now on the third time he goes, okay, so Darcy, I noticed you don't have a book.
I came straight here.
Right. Okay, so what exactly did you come here for then without the book?
You sounded pretty concerned when I mentioned the name.
Oh, yes. Don't use that name ever. It's just so much safer for you.
Why? Dad taught me it for a reason.
Yes, right. Yes, that's true. And that reason was so that you would know powerful entities that you should obey and follow and act in service of in exchange for power. I mean, you know, the general usual stuff. I wouldn't go around just saying the name just for fun.
I'm not doing it for fun. Are you?
Well.
Are you? And she pauses. Do you not say the name? Do you obey them?
I work for many clients in exchange for favors and money and mortal sundries.
Why?
Because frankly, Darcy, life is very boring when you are not in charge and when you can't do whatever you want. It's much better when you can just do whatever you want.
But you're not in charge. You're working for other people.
I know. It's very close though. And realistically, I can't do anything about. But I can at least get a lot of benefits from working for.
You really don't want to say his name, do you?
I don't want you to be encouraged to say their name, no.
And she can't help but smile a little bit at that. So, all those names Dad taught me, I can't say any of them.
He taught you a list of entities that you should fear and respect.
Uh-huh, okay. Do you respect them?
Yes, because again, I like being given money and favors and mortal, what did I say, sundries? That sounds so, anyways, elitist.
Are you scared of them?
I really like to choose when I encourage beings to pay attention to me. For example, with, what's his name? The boy that you were scaring. You know, I don't want people to come to my house and bother me all the time. It's upsetting, right? I mean, it wasn't fun.
So did you? Why do you keep interfering in my life?
You are the easiest way for me to get something I want. I made that very clear earlier.
Well, stop.
I will once you give me the thing I want.
I'm not going to give it to you because apparently you're working under one of these things that is apparently something we're supposed to fear. Why the hell would I give it something?
Fear and obey. Fear and obey, Darcy. This is very different. You fear because that's natural when something can eat you, and you obey it because of the fact that you want to get the privileges of being a very powerful being.
See, this is why I left. I didn't obey Dad. Why am I going to obey you?
I mean, again, the only reason I can think of is because you have matured in your thinking. And you're thinking, I really don't enjoy being penniless in a shoebox apartment, hoping to take pictures of people. Man, that sounds so boring. They're just people, Darcy.
I quite like them.
I mean,
I like them more than
there's-
you lot.
well, to
They're
be
nice
fair,
to me.
they really don't know what they're doing, do they? Do you think they would be nice to you if they really knew who you were? I mean, they fear me when they know who I am, and that's what I want.
Yeah, but you want fear.
Yes,
Okay.
I really do.
I don't.
Honestly, the worst part of having siblings is the fact that you don't fear me and immediately do what I say. I can get that from everyone else. Why is that, Darcy?
She shrugs. I don't obey.
I am still so flummoxed by why exactly it is that I want this one thing and why you have to be right there in my way instead of just giving me exactly what I want. How much am I really asking for? Well, just give me exactly what I want, and then I will let you not be bothered by me for a while.
There's always something. And it's because
I'm-
you want it.
Darcy, again, our people are not known for being patient and having finite appetites. I want it all, Darcy. This is a small thing. This is step one in a multi-step plan. You just have to give it to me.
You should really try some breathing exercises. It helps with anger.
His eyes are getting really yellow, by the way, and kind of cat-like. Look, I don't need breathing exercises.
She's getting intense, but there's a weird element of enjoyment to it, which is not what she wants. But
Yeah. Also, Marco isn't getting bigger. He doesn't get bigger. He just seems, well, for one thing, for anybody else, it would be hot. But look, again, breathing exercises really aren't going to give me what I want. Just give me the book so that we don't have to talk as much anymore. You know, realistically, this is not more pleasant for me than it is for you.
so your client wants the book, but what does your client want it for? Because maybe if I knew that, I got
That is
a
not
lot
how
of
this
stuff
works.
going. No, it's not how it works. You can't ask me to go into my place of work and steal something. I don't do
That's
that.
fine.
Do your own
That's
petty
fine,
theft.
Darcy. That's fine. When the building is suddenly burned down, and when everyone finds their bank accounts frozen, and when someone gets indicted for something they've never even heard of as a crime, and when they suddenly find themselves thrown to the winds, you'll just have to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give my brother a book." That's fine. If that's how you want to do things, we can do that.
What happens? So what happens if you don't get the book? And I don't mean to them or me, I mean to you.
Then I don't produce something that I may have promised would be very easy for me to obtain at a very steep cost. Probably the same thing that happens to everyone who overextends their reach.
So what, you'll get a slap on the wrist?
Slap on the wrist, lose an arm, get imprisoned in some sort of tomb for an eternity, you know, something. I don't know. I'm not going to find out, Darcy. I am going to take out everyone that you know, if that's what it takes.
For me to give you a book?
You can give me the book, or I can take the book.
What if there's no book left?
That is probably not a good idea.
I'm just asking.
Darcy, I really am getting to the point where I feel like you are less paying attention to me and more threatening me, actually. I'm feeling kind of threatened. Is it just me, or are you trying to threaten me?
Are you trying to threaten me?
Yes, I'm always trying to threaten you.
Well, stop. Maybe I'll stop
I'm your older
threatening
brother.
you. So?
I'm
Dad
positive
tried
that's
to
how it
threaten
works.
me. Mum tried to threaten me. Oh no, it's happening again. You keep doing this. Change the record. Do something else. Go get your own fucking book. Can you not
I'm
get
gonna
in
go
there
get my
because
own
of the
book.
wards?
No, I can't get in there because I would rather my sister did it for me the easy way than that I kill a whole bunch of people. But that's fine. I'll just do it that way. That's fine.
You would have done it already. There's something else.
You think what you like.
You enjoy this. You enjoy sitting in a big building at the top of a tower, looking out on a view, making yourself feel bigger than everyone else. And when it comes down to it, you need your tiny little sister to go get you a book. Because you can't. No matter how big a big shot you are, you can't stroll into a building and pick out a book.
You are tiny too, and those boots look silly on you. How big are those boots? Those aren't yours.
No, but I can grow into them.
All right, fine, Darcy, don't give me the book.
I'm guessing we're not going to be like talking that much anymore.
No, I'll just ask some of your friends. I'll just find something else on someone else and make them do it.
And I will be there every time.
We'll see, Darcy. We'll see.
We will. And she sort of pauses, puts her glasses back on, and starts to walk out of the flat. And she looks back as she gets to the elevator. I'm not getting you the book. You've got more than enough money as there is.
That's fine, Darcy. That's fine. I'm sure nothing will happen at all.
Okay. And she'll just flick one of the vases on the way out and then go and sit, wait in the elevator.
You know he lunges for it, and nothing happens. It barely teeters.
Yeah,
but
she's
he does
not
look very
she's not
concerned.
doing it to knock it over. She's doing it as like to put him on edge.
We're gonna leave on that very powerful note. Darcy is the best. Go Darcy, go Darcy. I can't even like get it out fast enough. It's awesome. But across town, the trolley has gone up the hill. Sullivan and Cameron have walked into HoroScoops, and like as you were walking up, there was a phone ringing. And as you walk in the door, Bill's actually at the front desk and says, no, he's not. Oh, wait. Hey, Sullivan, it's for you.
Okay. Hello?
Were you at the antique store down the street a couple of nights ago? Are you one of the people that helped me get to the hospital?
Yes.
Are you the one that came into the shop and bought the sword?
Yes.
This is going to sound weird. Have we ever met before?
I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Okay. Thanks for your help the other day. I'll talk to you later.
Sure, you have a good day.
Yeah. My name's Amy, by the way. What was your name?
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Weird. Okay. Thank you. And she hangs up.
He hangs up.
And speaking of hanging up, that's going to be our breakaway shot as we zoom out the door of the HoroScoops office as Cameron is walking in, and somewhere down the hill, Darcy is powerfully stomping out of an elevator bank. And that's going to be it for today. Next time, we're going to have to find out what happened to Lewis, what happened to Josie, what the heck is going on, and get a little bit further in our story as we get closer and closer to being the 4th of July at HoroScoops. So thank you guys, as always, for playing this ridiculous, spooky game with me. Thank you. And thanks for just being awesome. I'm going to hand things over to Alice because we have credits and stuff.
Awesome, thank you. I love this game so much. I'm so sad we're like in the last half of the season. I don't want this to end. Okay, yes, thank you. Awesome, so much. So last few things before we close out, we have a Discord. Please head over there. There is a channel specifically for HoroScoops if you want to go and scream into the abyss and try and work out what the hell's going on. Otherwise, we have YouTube. If you've missed any shows, whether it's this one or another, we've got playlists for each of oh my goodness, words, shows. And also, please check out all these lovely people on Twitter and what they do. They do really awesome stuff, and I adore them. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of the Deck of Many, where you can get fabulous little magic cards that are really, oh, I love them. And also Mage Hand Press, where you can see that play tomorrow, where I ran it on for Argo 37. We couldn't do this without these sponsors, so thank you so much to all of them as well, and go check them out. My cat just sneezed on me. Otherwise, keep evoking emotions, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Go look at Alice's Patreon.
Yeah. I should really have stopped. Right.
Check out Mac's thing.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a tweet. Go retweet the tweet.